Hi, it's Linnell. I am back with another unplanned live. And let's see, I gotta move this over. I am filming on my other camera just in case the streaming on this one is messed up because I'm here in Ensenada and I'm not sure if this is gonna work or not. Last time I tried to go live, I was here on Carnival Forensic and I went back and watched the video. It was clear when we were in Long Beach, but then maybe 5-10 minutes into it, I went downstairs to do the sail away party and I was getting my dance on. And I thought that you were able to watch the video, but apparently we were too far away from land and the stream was all messed up. So I'm going to try to go live here, and if the stream is messed up, then I also have it on the camera. I'm just gonna make it into a regular video. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Welcome, come on in. I have my notebook here. I wrote down some of the biggest questions most popular questions that I get all the time. And that's kind of what inspired me to make this video, because I'm like, listen, you keep asking me the same question. I done answered this about 30-40 times. So let me go live. Let me answer these questions that I get all the time. And then if there are some more questions that you have while I'm here on Carnival Forensic in Ensenada, then I will try to answer those as well. So before I get started, let me see, is there if anyone in the comments can let me know if this stream is coming through okay, because again, I'm in Ensenada and I can't see what you see, so I don't know if it's blurry or not, and I don't want to be talking and you looking at a blurry screen. While I wait for someone to do me a favor and answer, I am going to, the other camera won't pick this up, but since you're here live, I'm going to just show you what Ensenada looks like. So let me turn the camera around. All right, so yeah, I'm on here on this little bench right here, Carnival Forensic. I'm at the very front of the ship on deck 11. And this, as you can see, is the port. And it is a very cloudy, overcast day. And I would normally say it's beautiful. Not sure if you can hear it, but either seals or sea lions, I never know which one they are, but I definitely hear them loud and clear. So not sure if you can hear them or not, but I can hear them. So yeah, that's where I am at right now. So let me turn this around. And yeah, unfortunately, that's one of those things I don't get to be like listen, ain't nothing about my life ever normal, right? So I don't get to be like a regular normal YouTuber and say, hey, I'm gonna go live every Tuesdays, every Fridays. No, my life does not allow that, because I don't know where I'm gonna be on Tuesdays or Thursdays or whatever day it's gonna be. So yeah, hey Miss Wanda, good morning. Okay, apologize because I cannot read with my glasses on, which is really wild. The weather is absolutely gorgeous. It's a little bit warm for Ensenada. Usually when we come here, it is the cold spot. In Long Beach, it's usually hot. In Cabo, it's usually hotter. And it's usually cool in Ensenada. But yeah, right now, which oddly enough, because it's overcast, but maybe because I'm at the front and the sun is right here on me. But yeah, it's pretty warm. I would say if you were coming, if you're on the ship and you're gonna go to port, I would say it's kind of like perfect weather, because it's not too hot, but it's warm. Hello, Veronica, welcome. Envious of your cruise life. That's what this channel is all about, helping you get to your own cruise life or your own happy place, whatever it is you want to do. So welcome, come in. If you're just joining, I have some questions that are the most popular questions that I get asked in the comments all the time. So I'm going to answer those now that Hi, Midlife Thriving Official. Just watched the Seafood Shack video. Oh my gosh, don't bring back those memories of them crabs. That's the best crabs ever. Now that Miss Tiffany and Miss Wanda and Miss Kieta, Miss Gina, everybody is telling me that it is loud and clear. So I'm going to pause right there. I'm going to go and answer these questions for you in case you had these. And then I'm going to come back and see if you have any additional questions that maybe are not already on here. So with that, make sure the other camera is on and going. I guess I should do my intro. Hey, I'm Linnell. I live full-time on cruise ships. I've been doing this for a year and a half, and I'm doing it right now on a budget of $2,500 per month. Right now, I'm on Carnival Firenze. I'm on 15 back-to-back cruises. This is cruise number 5, so we got 10 more to go. I don't think I have this as a question. No, I am not staying in the same cabin the whole cruise. So that's one of the questions that usually comes up when you stay back-to-back. Do you stay in the same cabin? I book my cruises just like you do. I go online and I see what is available. If the same cabin is available, then yes, I get to book it. If not, and somebody else took that, then I got to pick another cabin. It just so happened when I booked this one, I actually didn't book this 15-day on my own. I had my Carnival PVP. Sometimes I use him, sometimes I do it myself. I like doing stuff myself. I like to be, as Janet would say, I like to be in control. But he did book these for me. And because it was so many back-to-back cruises like that, and I wanted to try and stay in the same cabin, I asked him to book these cruises for me. So he was able to get me the same cabin for the first 3 legs and the last 10. So this leg and the last leg, I'm in the cabin next door because somebody else had already picked it. But other than that, yeah, I'm in the same cabin the whole 15, the other 13, the other 13 cruises. And yeah, so most of the time I am able to, no, I would say maybe 50-50 that I'm able to stay in the same cabin. And the other half of the time I have to move to another cabin. So first question that's on the list that is the most popular is how can you afford to live on cruise ships full time? And for that video, for that question, the answer to that question, it's a long story. I'll make the short elevator speech in that before I was doing this, I was not planning to live full time on cruise ships. I was tired of my job and tired of my ex, and I was looking at my finances to see how much, if I left all that behind, how much I had in savings and investments, and could I live on my own? And the answer was yes, but not in the U.S. And so I went to some classes with Exodus Summit, which, as a matter of fact, they're doing their summit right now. But that was last year. I'm not going to the summits live. I like to watch them later because I'm kind of impatient like that. So I like to watch the replay and put it on fast forward. Some of y'all, I know you do that with my videos too, because I talk some people say I talk too fast, some people say I talk too slow. But yeah, I like to speed it up a little bit so I can just get the info that I came for. I don't like to watch stuff live like that. Someone who's going live right now. But anyway, where was I on that? So I watched did the Exodus Summit, and they were talking about all these different places, and other YouTubers too. And they were talking about all these other places that you can live outside of the U.S. for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month. And I was like, listen, I got enough to live off of as long as I don't go over $3,000 a month with a little bit increase every year for inflation, I can live, but it's not too many places in the U.S. that I could do that. So I might have to go over to Latin America, Portugal, Southeast Asia, I don't know. But for me, it was worth it because it wouldn't do me no good for myself or my family or my friends for me to stay in that job and stay in that relationship and then I die 5 years later. I'm not saying that was exactly what was going to happen, but I felt my life being pulled out of me, and I just kept feeling so bad and so toxic, and my health was going down. So I'm like, hey, I think myself included, God, my family, my friends, would rather me be alive than for me to be miserable and be in their presence. So I said, hey, I'm going to take a chance and do that. But yeah, so that's how I can afford to live full-time on cruise ships, because I found a way to do this on a budget, and that is with the free cruises that I get, which is in my very first video that I'm going to point you to. That's there's a link in the video description of almost all my videos, including this one. So if you want to know how I get the free cruises, check that video out. All right, number 2, do you still have to pay gratuities or tips every cruise? First of all, no, there's nowhere that says, I'm talking Royal, Carnival. I've been on one Princess and one Holland America cruise, so I don't really know too much about those two. But I really only know Royal and Carnival. So when I'm talking about the answers to these questions, it's my experience with Royal and Carnival. So take it with a grain of salt if we're thinking about a different cruise line. No one says you have to pay gratuities or tips on cruise ships. You, at the discretion of the cruise ship, they have a policy. If you don't want to give a gratuity, you take that off. It's optional. You can leave it on there. They go ahead as a courtesy, so you don't have to calculate it, right? They leave it as a courtesy, and they automatically post it to your account. So if you just want to fix it and forget it, let them, dictate how much you pay. And yeah, you can leave it like that. And some people do, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you don't have to pay gratuity or tips at all. Just like going to a restaurant on land or a hotel on land. If you want to leave a gratuity, then you leave it. If you want to take out the automatic and don't pay anything, you can do that. If you want to take out the automatic and just pay out of pocket, which is what I do, and just give your room steward, whoever serves you, whoever you want to, give them cash tips, then you have that option. So no, you don't have to do it on every cruise because you don't have to do it at all. Number 3, what happens when the cruise ends? Do you get off? Well, if it's at the end of the cruise, then yes, they kick me off like everybody else. If I'm on a back-to-back cruise, like I am on most of my cruises, then it depends on the port and the ship. Sometimes you stay in the dining room and someone from immigration comes on the ship and checks your documents and everything, and then you go back to the ship or your cabin or a muster station or whatever. And then most other ports and ships, you actually wait till everyone else is off the ship. They do what they call a zero count, which means everyone is off the ship except the crew and people who are staying on for the back-to-back cruises. You go down to the terminal, so you're getting off the ship, you're going down the Arrow Bridge, you're going through immigration just like if you was getting off the ship. They're going to scan your face to take you off, and then you're going to walk right back around and get right back on just like if you were on a whole new cruise. And then you're the first ones, the back-to-back people are the first guests back on the ship. I have heard in a few cases that if you have, and this might have been just back with COVID, I'm not sure, but if you were drastically sick or whatever, then someone from guest services would come and get your documents and just verify your face and everything. So there's exceptions to rules, but the regular processes is what I just said. And I'm not sure, I just thought about it, I'm not sure how long this live is going to last. Let's pray and hope that this lasts, because this sun is beaming on me and my phone, I'm hoping that it doesn't overheat. So we shall see how it goes. Where am I on? Number 4. What happens when the ship goes into dry dock? I don't live on one particular ship, so it doesn't matter if a ship goes into dry dock. I'm scheduling cruises just like you're scheduling cruises. So if the ship is going into dry dock, there was no way for me to schedule a cruise for that time period. So that doesn't impact me. So no. Yeah. Number 5. Can you make enough money on YouTube? I always get a little chuckle out of people asking me about YouTube, because the channel is not about how much money I make or where I make it from, because the channel is about from poverty to paradise, whether it be living on the ship or going to staying in your home that you're in, or going to another country, or moving across the United States somewhere. That's what the channel is about. But because I was very transparent and sharing my information about what my YouTube income was, I think people feel that information should be shared 100%, and I should always be sharing all the details about YouTube and how much I make, and how do you learn how to do YouTube, and can I teach them and stuff like that. But so back to the question, me focus again. Can you make enough money on YouTube? Just in general, again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm an accountant, but I'm not your accountant. YouTube is very, I can't think of the word that I'm trying to think. It fluctuates. So even the income that I make from YouTube is not a certain amount. There might be one month where I wake up from YouTube and I've made $20,000. Haven't gotten to $20,000 in 1 month yet. Knock on wood. There might be one day where I wake up for YouTube and I've made $5 for the month. You just don't know. You just make content. You try and connect with people who are looking for that type of content. You try and give them the value of what they're looking for, and hopefully that brings views. The views add up to the more views you get on the channel, the more a advertiser tells YouTube, hey, this person has the people that we want to reach with these ads. They pay YouTube. YouTube pays the content creator. So I can't answer that as far as, can you make enough money on YouTube? Right now, I am making enough. But again, this is a side thing for me because my foundation is my investments and savings, is what I'm living off of. But because I make enough now on YouTube, I don't have to touch that for now. But I don't know what this month's gonna hold. I don't know what next month's gonna hold. But that was 5. Number 6. What do you do about mail and packages? And for one, the society that we're living in, you're probably gonna not even get any mail or packages other than Amazon, right? But mail, a few things that might be important, at least in my life, might be, if I have to replace a credit card, or you have to have an address for, I don't know, the IRS and things like that. So if you're living this kind of lifestyle, you have 2 options. Do like me. I have family who I can use their address, and that's considered my home. So it's on my driver's license, it's on my credit cards and stuff like that. And they get my mail 9 times out of 10, no, 99 times out of 100. They're throwing it away. Sometimes they get something. They don't throw it away. They set it aside for me and I tell them to throw it away. Occasionally they'll get something like, for instance, Capital One just changed over from Visa to Discover. So now they send everybody a new card, which means I think I can still use my card. So if you have Capital One, then you know what I'm talking about. Or if you don't, hello, they're gonna be sending you a new card. So yeah, now I gotta get a new credit card. But other than that, I don't really have any mail. But yeah, I can use family, and there's also different mailing mail services that you can set up that'll do the same thing for you that my family does for me, but they charge a fee. My family doesn't charge me a fee. Packages, I can get stuff from Amazon. If in between cruises, I know I'm going to a hotel and I'm going to be there for a couple of days, I'll just have it sent there ahead of time. I use IHG hotels for the most part, and they're really good about accepting packages for guests. So yeah, just have it shipped to them a couple of days ahead of time. Other than that, there's Amazon lockers, right? And then I've even had a couple people, just had a friend of mine, Miss Sandra, is going to be back on this ship in a couple months, and so she's offered to, there's a couple little conveniences that I want to order off of Amazon, so I'm going to send those to her, and she's going to bring them back to me the next time she's on the ship, not next cruise. But yeah, so where there's a will, there is a way. If you are just joining, hey, it's Linnell. I'm still here on Carnival Forensic. We are docked in Ensenada, Mexico, and I'm just answering the most popular questions that I get on YouTube. One, just as a courtesy to you, since you're available and here for live. Once I'm done answering these, I'm going to go look at the comments and see if you have any more questions that I can answer for you. And I don't talk this much. My throat is like, what you doing talking this much, girlfriend? And also because I get the same questions asked over and over and over and over and over again in the comments. Now, if a new person comes in, I can just direct them to this video. So there you go. Number 7, how do you handle healthcare and prescription medicines? When this sailing is over, I'm going back to Long Beach. And then we're going out for another 4 days, and I'm going back to Long Beach. And then we're going out for another 4 days, and I'm going back to Long Beach. I can go to CVS, I can go to Walmart, I can go to... Do they even have Walmarts in Long Beach? I looked up Walmart, and it said like 7 miles or something like that. 7 miles from the bus stop. I'm like, do they even have Walmarts in Long Beach? I don't know. I felt like that was in a whole nother city from where I was in. But yeah, I've gone to a Target, I've gone to CVS here, and in all the U.S. ports, I'm always back for the most part, back in the U.S. So I can do the same things you do. I can not book a cruise for a week or a month or whatever to go to the dentist, a doctor appointment. Yeah, so no big deal. As far as my prescriptions, I do get an annual physical. My last one was in July, and then I had one before that, July of last year. And in both cases, my doctor gave me 1 year worth of prescriptions, 90 days that get refilled 90-day supply that get refilled every quarter, and she gave it to me to expire at the end of the year. So I'm good. As long as I can get to a pharmacy, we're good. What do you do for laundry? Nothing. I put them in a bag and I give it to the cabin steward. For the most part, on Carnival, I get unlimited laundry. Royal, if it's a sailing of, I think, 5 days or more, I get 1 free bag. I'm Diamond on Carnival and Diamond Plus on Royal Caribbean, so laundry's taken care of. In between cruises, if I'm in a hotel that has a washer dryer and I'm there for at least a day or two, well, at least a day, I'm always there at least 1 day. But I have time in between, if I have time in between cruises to do laundry, I do still prefer, because I don't know what kind of system they use on the ships. My clothes do get clean, but I don't really know how to explain it. They don't have that fresh, I don't know. But I will still wash my clothes. And if I'm on a ship that has a washer dryer, Firenze does not have it, so I don't have that option. But some cruise ships do have laundrettes. Then I might even though I get free laundry, I might still, just because I want that different feel of my clothes, I might still wash myself. But I rarely do laundry. I don't have to do laundry. But so if you're going to live full time on cruise ships, or you were going to take some extended cruises, then that's something that you can do. Do you get Wi-Fi, and isn't that unaffordable? Yes. In both answers, yes. Before I was getting monetized on YouTube, I was not getting the Wi-Fi. I have Verizon, which is about $75 a month. I added a international package, which I think was like another $15, $20 a month. So I can get up to 10 days when I'm in other places. Oh wait, so first, automatically with Verizon, you get coverage in Mexico and Canada and any U.S. territories. So whenever the cruises go here to Ensenada, Cabo, if I was to go to Canada, St. Thomas, all those, Puerto Rico, San Juan, all those U.S. ports, then that's already included in my phone plan. If I was to go somewhere outside of that, say Belize, then I get 10 free days of Wi-Fi and data, unlimited text, data, and talk. And I never used any of my 10, so they kept rolling over and rolling over. Now that I'm doing YouTube, I do purchase the Wi-Fi, but only because I'm doing YouTube and YouTube is paying for it. If YouTube wasn't paying for it, I would not be coming on doing lives like this as often and having the Wi-Fi package. I would do what I used to do. So yeah, it just depends on what you need, and if you can disconnect like I used to, just enjoy the cruise and then get back online when you're in port. So yeah, you don't have to purchase the Wi-Fi if you're going to be living full-time on cruise ships. Number 10, how do you get your hair done? Same way you get your hair done. I have a whole video on that. I'll put a link to in the video description. But yeah, I got this done in Belize. When I go back to port, I can schedule someone to do my hair. I can go to a salon. I've got my hair done in port in Cozumel. Back when I go back home, not home, but my family's home in Georgia. If I'm in Orlando, I know people in Orlando who can do hair. Yeah. And sometimes I just rock my natural hair. I just take my braids out. I get them in moods like that. And yeah. Uh, do you ever get bored, lonely, or miss your family? No, no, and no. I've never been bored on cruise ships. There's just way too much stuff to do. I have the opposite problem. It's like, dang it, I got 3 things I want to do. Thankfully for me, I'm usually, not all the time, like I was only on Star of the Seas 7 days, and so there was no way for me to get everything in that I wanted to do. But thankfully for me, I'm usually on back-to-back cruises, so I can choose something and then say next time I get to do that. For me, I like to watch movies, so that's one of the things that if I'm trying to go watch the show, but then there's also a movie playing on the big screen or in the theater or something like that. That's usually where I have to make the choice. Or there's comedians and stuff, but sometimes they do repeat shows. But I'm not really into the comedians. To tell you the truth, they don't be that funny on the on the early show with the kid friendly shows, and then they just be too vulgar for me in the late shows. So that's why comedy's not my thing. Sometimes I'll go to them. But yeah, no, I never get bored because there's just too much to do on the cruise ship. So it's just the opposite. And I think, as my kids alluded to me before I started doing this, YouTube is helping with that, right? So I stay busy, doing about 4 hours a day. Sometimes no hours a day, sometimes 12 hours a day, depending on my mood and how long I want to work on YouTube. So that does keep me busy. Lonely? Nope, I have not been lonely on cruise ships. I think that has something to do with my personality. I love being by myself. I like just going to sit out on the lanai and just enjoying the breeze. I also sometimes get in moods where I do want to be around other people. Trust me, I got no problem finding other people. Just go sit in any kind of activity. Go sit in trivia. Go sit in comedy shows, go to movie theater. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I get overstimulated and then I just want to go in my cabin and shut the door. Again, a personality thing. And now we got an announcement.
Good morning, Carnival friends and family. The midship gangway is currently closed due to offloading operation. An announcement will be made once it's reopened. The forward gangway will remain open. Thank you.
Do you miss your family? No, I don't. I still see my family and talk to them on a regular basis. I would say the biggest thing that I do miss is being able to see the grandkids on a regular basis, but they're getting older where they're going to school and doing, activities and stuff. So, yeah, I don't get to see them on as regular a basis as I did, but again, I could always take off and spend time with them. I spent time with my Georgia grandkids in the whole month of July. I'm going to see them again in December. My Orlando grandkids, I'm going to, they're going to be on a cruise with me coming up when I get off of Forenzi. So that's exciting. I get to talk to them all the time. We can do video chats. We do video chats. I just talked to my brother and my sister yesterday on the phone. So no, I don't miss them jokers. We still do the same things we do. As a matter of fact, we're also trying to plan. When I first started doing this, I did a cruise with my sisters. We're also trying to do some next year. And I've talked about it in a few videos, I have some international trips, and we're trying to see if we can connect on some of those because they do international trips too. We may do some together, we may not, but we shall see. But yeah, we get to talk and video chat and all that stuff all the time. You probably saw a few months ago, I went to New Orleans. I hooked up with one of my brothers. We went on a sightseeing tour together. All that jazz. What about hurricane season? What do you do then? The same thing that other people who live in hurricane areas do. I stay home. People who live in Belize, or that was a bad example because hurricanes don't really go to Belize. In the Caribbean, in Florida on the coast, they don't pack up and move just because it's hurricane season. Now they may evacuate if they are in the direct path if they're in the direct path of either the hurricane or the really bad bands of a hurricane. So yeah, they may evacuate. Guess what this $1 billion ship gonna do? It's never gonna go in the eye of a storm. I ain't never got to worry about that. It's never gonna go close enough where this $1 billion ship can get damaged. So I'm not worried about me. I'm safe. No big deal. Just like cruise ships, the cruise season doesn't stop because it's hurricane season or typhoon season or whatever. Yeah, my life doesn't stop. I keep going. No big deal. Do the waters get rough? Sometimes, not really. Sometimes they get rough when it's not hurricane season. So, this is not on my list, but I have been asked quite a few times, do you ever get seasick? I've been cruising since 2002. I've never once got seasick. And GoPro gave up the ghost. Phone is still going. Let's see. That's not GoPro. I don't have GoPro anymore. This is the DJI. Oh well. Phone is still going, so let me see. There's still comments coming in. Yep, you guys are still here, so thanks for hanging in with me. Let me try and get through these. I'm more than halfway, so if you got some questions, get ready to put them in there. How much do you have to spend in the casino to get free cruises? Regular viewers already know the answer to this. There is no amount. I'm going to point you back to my very first video where I showed I spent $0 on Carnival Celebration and got 40 free cruises. I think it was like 30 free cruises and like 10 deeply discounted cruises. But I say 40 free because they was just about free. From playing on Carnival Celebration, I didn't spend anything. I started playing $100 a day. By the third day, put my money back in my pocket. By the time I left, I was up $1,200. So technically, I didn't spend anything. And technically, I didn't have to go in the casino anymore because I already had those 40 cruises booked. Didn't need to play in the casino anymore. Did play in the casino occasionally just because I like to play in the casino. Has nothing to do with trying to get points. Same thing with Royal Caribbean. I spent $100 a day on that first cruise that triggered free cruises. At least to my knowledge. I might have been getting some other free cruises that I ain't know nothing about because I wasn't looking into it. But I spent $100 a day. It was $800. Someone else could have done the same thing that I did on Carnival. Someone else could go in the casino, put in a few dollars, and come out ahead. So technically not spending anything. It's all about the number of points that you get. From Royal Caribbean, I did get 14 free, not deeply discounted, free cruises. And when I say free for Royal and Carnival and Princess and Holland America, free means you pay port fees and taxes, and you just don't pay the cruise fare. So yeah, there is no amount. It might take someone else, like I did with a Carnival cruise. It might take someone else $4,000 to get the same free cruise deals that I got. It might take someone else $200. It might take someone else $10,000. There is no certain amount that you need. It's just the points, and it just depends on which machines you get and how loose they are. If they are paying you back and you're able to continue your play. What is that noise? Oh, they're doing some stuff over there in the port. Yeah, somebody put in the comments the other day, after they put in the comments for the Royal Caribbean video where I showed how to get free cruises on Royal Caribbean, and I walked through all the point system and everything, and they either didn't watch the video or sorry to say, they just didn't understand a word I said. They came back in the comments and said, oh, so that means you gotta spend $2,000 to $3,000 to get a free cruise. Chabu. That means you ain't listened to a word I said. Don't be coming in my comments if you don't watch the video and then come in there and say crazy stuff like that, because you're probably gonna get blocked. Speaking of which, let me add that in there. If you on here and you watching this and you put comments in and nobody ever replies to you, nobody ever thumbs up your comment, it's probably because you got blocked. I'm just saying. It's probably because you put something inappropriate, or I don't block people just because they ask a dumb question. I don't block people for that. But if somebody puts something in there inappropriate, or it's at my discretion, right? It's my channel. But if you got blocked, that's probably why. So think about what you did and don't do that on other people's channels. Yeah. Which also reminds me that if you're watching and you haven't gotten blocked, know that this is a safe space for you. You can put stuff, you don't have to worry about people bullying you. If and when I do find out that there are people in there bullying or giving false information, even people who give false information, I try to correct them in the comments, or come back at them and say, give us some facts, because that don't sound right. Give us some more information. Tell us what ship this was. Tell us when this happened, so somebody can verify this, because that don't sound right. And if they continue to do that kind of stuff, then yeah, I know that they just have no life. And they just want to come and troll, as they say. But just somebody just asking a crazy question or saying something false, I don't block people for that. Because sometimes I may say something and it might be incorrect and somebody come and correct me. That's not what this is about. This is about people just being mean and nasty. Yeah. So we don't need that kind of thing in our safe space in the comments, right? 14, we're almost there. What's your favorite cruise line? Y'all are not finna get me on camera saying which no favorite cruise line. The one that gives me free cruises, that's my favorite cruise line. The ones I cruise all the time are Royal Caribbean and Carnival. I made a video. I like both of them for a different reason. And I'll just put a little touch of it here. Carnival, can't nobody beat them with the Fun Squad. They sail away parties, which I love, and I try to go to it. All of them. I don't go to all of them, but I try to. Because my body be like, girl, you 54. Go sit your butt down. That I know of, the ships that I've been on, now Star might be changing my mind about this one, but overall, Carnival versus Royal. Carnival has more included options as far as food. So they both have the main dining room. They both have room service. What else do they both have? It's not coming to mind right now. They both have the buffet. Carnival also has Guy's Burgers. Royal doesn't have that. Carnival has the burrito place. Carnival has the deli place. Yeah. So as far as included food, they have that. There's one more thing about Carnival. I can't remember. I can't remember all the different details. But then there's things about Royal that I like that Carnival just can't compete with. Like Royal has way more activities on all their ships. When you compare the same size ships or about the same size ships, right? Because of course Royal has way bigger ships than Carnival, right? But even if you look at Carnival's biggest ships versus Royal's biggest ships, or their smallest ships versus each other, Royal ships have way more activities on them, point blank. So, yeah, if you want to, check out that video, just put in Carnival versus Royal, Poverty to Paradise. Look up anything on my channel. Just put that topic and Poverty to Paradise, and YouTube will bring it up for you. So, yeah, my favorite cruise line is the one that gives me free cruises. If you see me in person, I might tell you something different, but you'll never catch me on camera saying something different. Do you get tired of the repetitive food? No, I have just the opposite problem. When my people in the main dining room, they already know very first day, because I keep the same table. And make sure this is still going. Yep, I keep the same table, so I have the same wait staff. They already know first day I'm gonna get the barbecue salmon. I'm gonna get a Caesar salad with a side of shrimp cocktail, and then I'm gonna take the shrimp off. I'm gonna cut it up and I'm gonna put it on my Caesar salad. And I'm just a creature of habit like that. I thought about making a video. Linnell, you're gonna be on Carnival Frenzy for 70 days. You should go in the dining room and try everything that's on the menu and make a video about that. Nobody's ever done that. I'm too much of a picky eater to do that. I can't do that, sorry. If that's something that you would love to see, I can't do it. My friend Miss Sandra had a smoked salmon salad yesterday, and that vinaigrette dressing was smelling so good. There's no way smoked salmon is getting in this mouth. I need to be all the way cooked. We went to tea yesterday. They had cucumber sandwiches, smoked salmon, and something else. Nah, bruh. I'll be adventurous. I'll try things like escargot and frog legs. I'll eat stuff like that. But I can't eat everything that's on the menu. Maybe I'll do a video of most things on the menu. But no, I never get tired of the food being repetitive. They there's so much different food options. I'm still trying new things. As a matter of fact, they had some kind of egg roll that had like, I think it was barbecue pork in it and had some barbecue sauce on the side. Oh my goodness, that was good. And this is my 5th time on this ship, and that was the first time I had it. And my, I don't know, 30th time on the Carnival cruise, my first time trying it. There's so many options out there. That's not an issue at all. So if you think you're thinking about living on cruise ships full time or going on extended cruises, but you can't do it because you would get tired of the food, I don't think so. And then even outside of the regular options, they have your port every 2-3 days. I can get off the ship anytime and go to Ensenada and go to a restaurant, you know. I can go in a restaurant in Cabo. I can go to the specialty dining on the ship. So yeah, there's no such thing as being bored with the food, at least not for me. Almost only got 2 more questions. Can I do this when I retire? That's one of the questions people ask me all the time. Can I do this when I retire? So that's what this channel is all about. I don't know. If you love cruising, if you love going to different places, if you don't mind the, what do you call it? The nomad. That's not the word I'm thinking of, but it's not coming to my mind. That is not permanent. That you're, doing ship to ship. I mean, I saw some people who were on Villa V and they just sold their cabin. I used to I follow their channel. I don't know if they're going to keep doing cruises or not. But they were on Villa V and it just wasn't working out for whatever reasons. I don't know if that's something that you're looking at, to stay on the same ship in the same cabin, but it goes all around the world. That might be something different. Or if you're going to do something like me and go to different ships, to be able to stay on the budget and do it the way I'm doing it. Or even with a different cruise line that you might can get better discounts, or maybe the same cruise line but you don't do casinos at all. I know some people don't do casinos at all, but you can still find really good deals all year long and still be able to do this on a budget. I have a video out there called How to Find Cheap Cruises Without Casino Deals, so you can check that video out. That's probably what I would be doing. Either if I wasn't doing the casino cruises, I would probably either be doing that or I would be over on land somewhere. Right now, my favorite place was Mazatlan until I went to Vietnam, and I'm in love with Vietnam. So if ever you see this channel shut down, I done moved over to Vietnam. I might start another whole new YouTube channel, but I love Vietnam. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to go again next year. We shall see. But yeah, it's an individual thing. Only you can answer that question, and that's what this channel is all about. Showing you what it looks like to live this type of lifestyle, showing you the different options, the different places I go to, all the wonderful people I get to meet on ships, pretty much everything that's here, and 100 other more questions. So do I ever run out of content for YouTube? No, because people are always asking me stuff, and I'm always learning stuff, and ships are always doing stuff new. So yeah, I don't think I'll ever run out of content for this YouTube channel unless I stop cruising full time. And the last question that I have on here, and then I'm going to get to the comments, so if you're still here, thanks for hanging on. It's really a 2-part. Will you teach me? People ask me all the time, will you teach me how to live on cruise ships, and will you teach me how to do YouTube? This channel is the answer to the first question. I am teaching through this channel how to live full-time on cruise ships. This is the only way I know how. I can't write a book or a manual or a PDF and say, do X, Y, Z. No, because no one taught me this stuff. I'm learning as I go, and I'm sharing. This is YouTube. These videos is my book, my instruction manual, how I've done things. So if you were one of the people who came to me in the comments and asked me, can you teach me how to live on cruise ships? I probably pointed you to my very first video showing this is my plan, this is how much I plan to do, this is why I plan to do it that way. And then all these other videos after that, other than the ship tours, right? Ship tours and cabin tours, because that's just in general for people who might be wanting to be on these ships. But all the other videos that I make is all about, lifestyle, how I do it, what I'm learning, what you can take from it, or, maybe that's not for you. Maybe this video is like, oh, I thought living on cruise ships was going to be something else. No, what she's showing me is different. It probably would be different for me, but from that right there, I can't deal with that, you know. So yeah, this channel is me teaching that. As far as me teaching YouTube, I used to say that's not my ministry, but if you have a YouTube channel, that's becoming my ministry. I ain't making no promises right now, but I always point to the foundation of how I learned how to do YouTube. After this question, I'm gonna go to the comments and answer your question. So if you have a question, put it in there now, please. But whenever anyone asks me that, I always go to the foundation that I learned, which was two ways. I learned how to do editing and a whole bunch of other tips from my son and my daughter. My son is a full-time YouTuber. His channel is Shady Do Rags, because he wears shades and a do-rag. And he taught me how to do editing, and he gave me a bunch of pointers. Some of that stuff I don't listen to. Like, if he watching, he know he told me this. He's like, Mom, you can't be answering every comment on YouTube. But I like answering every comment on YouTube. You're gonna burn yourself out. Okay, when I start burning myself out, I'm gonna stop answering every comment on YouTube. I might not put a whole reply, but I try to reply, and if I don't have time because I'm in a hurry, or people are just saying, you know, I like your video or something like that, then I at least want to click that thumbs up button and the heart so you know that I saw your comment. If you didn't get at least that, then you probably got blocked. Sorry. Or maybe you didn't get blocked. Maybe you didn't get blocked by me, but maybe you put something, a word, a trigger word that YouTube might block you. Okay? So maybe you had like 6 or 7 comments that you put on the channel. 3 or 4 of them got answered, but then the other 2 or 3, nobody ever replied to it. You probably said a trigger word, a curse word, something that violated their policy, and YouTube was like, nah, we blocking that. Look, I don't even need to see what that is. So that's another way that your comment might get blocked, but you as a whole didn't get blocked. But yeah, so right now I still like to, anyway, I'm getting off track. So yeah, he taught me a whole bunch of other tips like that, like don't be putting other people, interviewing people's kids without the parents' permission, stuff like that. But as far as how to do YouTube the right way, us older people over 40, we have a different kind of audience than the normal YouTubers, and this is what our type of viewers look for. This is how you do thumbnails. This is how you do your descriptions, all that kind of stuff. I learned all that in the course, YouTube After 40. So, of course, I recommend that to the people. If you are in that course and you want more help beyond that, because once I did that, I didn't settle at just that. That's what got me started and what got me monetized. But I'm the type of person, if you've been here for a minute, you know I'm going to go above and beyond. So I've done other things on top of that. And people ask me, can we do a consultation and stuff like that? I'm not ready for that, but I am working on something in the background that will be helpful. But you won't be able to participate unless you're in the YouTube After 40 course. So that's all the hint that I'm going to say right now, is I'm working on something. And if you are looking to learn more about YouTube, which I've mentioned this in my last couple of lives, I'm just trying to see how many people are interested in this type of thing. Once I get it, once I know for sure I'm going to do it, and I know the structure of it and how to best help you as a content creator, then that's something that I would definitely bring back to you and let you know. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. It might be a week. It might be a month. I might not do it after all. I don't know. Something that I'm looking into. So just wanted to wet your whistle with that just a little bit and let you know that that's probably something that's coming. So now I'm going to clear my throat a little bit. And if you are still here, thank you for hanging out with me today. If you just arrived, hey, I'm Linnell. I live full-time on cruise ships. I'm here on Carnival Firenze. We're docked in Ensenada. I just went over the most popular questions that I get asked all the time on this YouTube channel. So if you want to, once the live is over, or go back now and rewind and see what those questions were, how I answered them, that's what this is about. And now I'm going to go and see what your questions are and answer those. So let's see what we got here. Oh, I'm so proud of you all. We got 200 people watching, and over half of you gave the thumbs up. Woo! Thank you, friends. I appreciate that. When you do that thumbs up, YouTube has something that's called impressions. When I first make a video or go live or whatever, it doesn't send it to everybody. Um, Even if you have the bell on, because there's over 100,000 subscribers on this channel. YouTube does not send it out to all 100,000. YouTube is going to send it to the people who are most engaged with this channel. It might be the first 5,000, the most 10,000, 5,000 people engaged, the most 10,000 people engaged. But there's this thing called impressions, and that means how many people YouTube actually sent the video out to, or the thumbnail out to, or whatever, that looked at the thumbnail for at least, I think it's 2 or 3 seconds, 5 seconds, something like that. And it doesn't send it out to 100,000 people, even though you're subscribed. So whenever you click that thumbs up, that means YouTube is like, oh, the people we sent this to, the first 5,000 people we sent this to, they like this video, they like this live. We're gonna send it out to 5,000 more, or 10,000 more, or whatever. So if you are enjoying someone's content, whether it's mine or someone else's, make sure you give them a thumbs up so YouTube will know. All right, let me stop rambling. And apologies, I can't read with my glasses on. I'm gonna pull this a little bit closer to me. No, I'm not, because I'm gonna make this fall. Alrighty, so questions. Can you tell us if you're using premium or social carnival offers? I don't know what that means. If you mean Wi-Fi, the only thing I know about premium and social carnival is the Wi-Fi, and I use the premium Wi-Fi. I've never heard of a premium or social carnival offer. I could hear something, thought it was something on the ship. No, that's the pier. I gave a little glimpse of what it looks like. I don't know what those things are called. If you saw Waterworld with War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. Was it Tom Cruise? Yeah. And he was on that, I don't know what it's called. He was on that thing at the beginning of the movie. That's what those things are. They're lifting cargo and stuff. Have you done the North Star on RCC? Is it scary? Have no idea what that is. The North Star. If that is what I think it is, because it sounds familiar, I could be totally wrong. If so, I apologize. We were docked next to Quantum of the Seas, or Ovation of the Seas, and there's this big giant ball at the top, and it has an arm on it, and you're sitting inside that ball, and it does something like this. I know. Forgive me. If that's what you're talking about, I've never been on one of those ships. If I ever get on one of those ships, I'm definitely getting on it. If that's what you're talking about. Thanks, Miss Wanda. Don't forget to like the video, folks. Thank you, Miss Gina, about my braids. Let me see. Questions. Oh, I'm surprised my phone holding up like this. Good morning. It's a beautiful day for a cruise going on the Carnival Glory out of Port Canaveral in January. Have you been on Glory? If so, how was the food? Nope, I have not been on Carnival Glory. Sorry, I don't know anything about that ship. Hello all, planning my cruise for 2026, 2027. How do you manage the drinks bill? If you mean alcohol, I have no idea. Somebody in the comments answer for Miss or Mr. I think that's a Miss Jillian. I'm not about that life. I don't really drink alcohol like that. If I do, on the cruises that I go in, I get with Royal and Carnival with my perks, I get free drinks. So I might order an alcohol occasionally. They give me champagne back-to-back on the back-to-back cruises all the time. I go and find a friend, maybe you. Maybe you've been one of those friends. I go find a friend, an adult friend, someone over 21, and give that to them. Or if I really want a soda, I'll take it down to guest services and say, hey, can you give me a voucher for a soda? I don't get the drink package. If I want some alcohol, I'll use one of my perks, or I'll go to the casino and get something. Yeah. The only drink bill that I have is me with my bottled water, because I can't drink the ship water. I can drink it a little bit, but not on a regular basis. So I'm always buying the bottled water, which I don't need it on Royal because I get 6 free drinks per day. And on Carnival, A 12 pack of bottle order is 18 bucks. So yeah, I'm spending about $80 a month on bottled water. Who does that? I have tried, before you come at me in the comments, I have tried different things. I've tried Brita filter. I've tried another different bottle. I paid 80 bucks for that bottle, a filtering water bottle. I have a life straw that's in my cabin. That stuff is just too much work for me. I'd rather pay the 80 bucks. That's how bad it is. Let's see, did this video go away? This camera's still going? Okay. Which is better, Forenzi or Venezia? Now that I've been on both for extended period of time, Forenzi. 2 reasons. No, more than 2. Venezia, I did like sailing out of New York. I did love that. That was my first time in New York. Seeing the Statue of Liberty, all that good stuff. But I know sometimes it goes to Port Canaveral, which obviously I'm an Orlando person, so I like that. Venezia, I fell in love with Venezia first because I was on it first, and I love the gondola that they have in the main dining room. Forenzi doesn't have that. They have a statue of David in the main dining room. So the main dining room on Venezia is way better. Customer service on Forenzi is way better. The terminal, the service is better, but they got issues on Forenzi as far as communication between staff. Stuff that people in the terminal is doing and stuff with the people on the ship tell you to do. It's 2 totally different things. I've had issues, no complaints about it. People just being people. I've had issues with them charging me for drinks that are on my VIFP perks. And I keep having to go to guest service and ask them to take it off. And then I go to the main dining room and I order it again, and then I gotta go the next time and take it off. So there's issues like that. But as far as customer service, and of course I won 20 grand on Forenzi. So, and even without my 20 grand that I won, except for yesterday, I played last night and it didn't do too good. But I feel like almost every night, and I don't go to casino every night, and I don't go to casino every cruise, but I feel like every night that I've been in the casino on this ship, somebody been winning a jackpot, and the nights that I haven't been, someone else is telling me, oh, somebody else won a jackpot that night. Someone else won 25,000. Someone won 80,000. Blah 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 blah. So I feel like the machines on this ship, I ain't guaranteeing nothing for nobody, so don't just take that with a grain of salt. But I feel like they give out more hand pays, jackpots, and majors. I've gotten the most. It's my only jackpot I've ever won. I've gotten the most hand pays I've ever won on this ship. I've gotten the most majors I've ever gotten on this ship. Majors like $600, $700, $800. So yeah, their casino is fun, more fun. The ship itself is exactly the same, the way it's laid out, the way the buffet is decorated, which I fell in love with the first time I saw it. You have to see it to know what I'm talking about, but the decor is amazing. I love the way their Lido deck, where the pool is and the stage and the screen. And if you saw my seafood video yesterday, then you know what I'm talking about. I love that balcony area. I just love everything about Venezia and Forenzi. But they're the same ship. Out of the 2, I like Forenzi's my favorite Carnival ship. Before I got on Venezia, Carnival Celebration was my favorite Carnival ship. Alrighty, let's see where we're at. Hello, if you're just coming, I'm just answering any questions you have, and I'm probably way behind. So if you got time to just chill with me for me to answer your question, put them in there. I am redeemed. Yes, Exodus Summit. They are in their summit right now. I think it started yesterday. Miss Lynn is here. Yes, fast forward and also rewind so I don't miss anything. Hey, Miss Lynn. I can never remember what ship we met on. I think it was Dream or Magic. Maybe Magic. Yeah, we met on the ship and we're friends now. We even went on another cruise together, Star of the Seas. And she don't live on cruise ships, but she owned them probably more than me. Now, how that work, I don't know. Inflation is out of control. Are you keeping track and trying to experience each of the Carnival and Royal Caribbean RCC ships? Yes and no. I kind of thought in my head I might make it a goal to sail on each of their ships, but Carnival is starting to go down on their offers while Royal is starting to go up. So 2026, by the time I've ended 2026, I will have sailed on at least half of both of their fleet. And it's gonna take me longer than someone else who's just going from ship to ship to ship, right? Because I'm on this ship for 2.5 months. So where somebody else could be on probably 10 different ships in that time. Right? So no, I mean they keep track of it in the app. I don't really keep track of it, but and I don't do the things like some people do on their channel where they grade the ship, because I like all the ships. And I'm more about just telling you the experience of living on a cruise ship. And I know other people already have that kind of content out there, and I'm not trying to dominate and do everything and be everything to everybody. I just want to share what I'm learning for people who are trying to get discounts or thinking about living full time on cruise ships. Because I know this is something that I'm not the only one who's doing it. There's lots of other people who are living full time on cruise ships. There's just not lots of people who are doing YouTube channels and telling you about them. And I know this because I meet people all the time. Same predicament. I don't remember which predicament that was. We talked about some of these stuff earlier. Oh, those sea lions are so loud. Have you ever been on the rescue boats or on a ship that lists? I don't know what that one means. A ship that lists. I've never been on a rescue boat. No. Mm-mm. I've never even sat in one, like as a drill or anything. No. Put a small tent over your phone so it doesn't overheat. I have to do this if my phone is mounted in the sun. I don't have a tent. This little paper, if I put it up there, if I put the paper up there, it's gonna block me from being able to see it, and I don't have anything to hold it up. That's a good idea, but maybe I'll learn that for something in the future. Thanks, Julie Wright. Hello, Andrea. Never share all your income. Some information to help people out is enough. You are my sister from another mother. Bless. Yep. I don't share all my income. But yeah, just to give, I did on my last video. I never shared my, what was it called? My affiliate income. I didn't say how much I was getting from each source, but I did share the amount. But yeah, that was just something, because I know some people are going to be worried because my income went down. And as viewers, sometimes viewers have like a personal stake, and they start to get worried because like we're like family, you know, once we've been doing YouTube for a while. And so family will get worried. Oh no, she was making $4,000 or $5,000 a month, and now she's making $2,000 a month for YouTube. Listen, God got me. Don't worry. First of all that income is not gone. Some of that money is sitting in the bank for future, so I'm still covered. And then YouTube is, just because you see, I say I only made $50 on YouTube this month. I still got other things going on. So that was just a little taste, just to let you know. But yeah, I do share the YouTube income, but I don't share all my income. But thanks for that tip. Some of these questions are so odd. Imagine me, the one who got to answer them. There's some way odder questions than these. Yeah, way odder. Those are just the most popular. Have you ever been in any storms out there? Yeah, early last year I made some videos. You can come out. I'm live. You want to come say hey? This Miss Sandra, y'all. If you watch, is it Hanging? I always mess it up. Is it Hanging with the Howards? Hanging with the Howards. Come on over. Miss Free. This is her mom. We've been hanging out on this cruise ship. Look, she's short. I gotta bring this down. There we go. So, what you up to? Anything we can say online or no?
No, I just had some watermelon.
Oh.
Hey, no pun intended.
You gonna come out and hang out with us for a minute?
Sure.
Okay.
It's nice out here.
If Free is watching, I don't think Free watching. Is she on the cruise right now? No, she getting ready to get
No.
on the run. No.
She'll be on
If
a
she
cruise
watching, I
tomorrow
don't think
with
she
me,
watching.
actually.
But yeah, if y'all looking for different content, and also if you're looking for a travel agent, Miss Free in hanging
Hanging with the Howards.
hanging with the Howards. I always want to say Journey with the Howards. It's a bunch of other YouTube channels that have similar names. That's why. But anyway, yeah, you can check her channel out, and also get with her if you need someone to book your cruises for you. She's showing me some stuff. Miss Free showing me some stuff on how to upgrade my cruises and get a better experience. So as she teaches me, what each one teach one, I will teach you also. How do you make friends traveling? Being older for me is not easy making friends. You want to answer that one?
Being over there.
She like, I don't work here. You ain't
I
paying me
know
to
a lot
answer
of
your
solo
questions.
traveling, and I am a teenager.
Teenager. She is a
Yeah,
teenager.
yeah.
Let me
So
move this down.
you're
so
never
it feels
alone
weird.
when you're on a cruise ship. There's always
Exactly.
lots of people, and the nice thing about cruising is that people are very friendly, you know, and if you have accessibility issues, most of the cruise lines are very accessible conscious. And a lot of the countries are also becoming very accessible conscious
Mhm.
with ramps, you know, or the recessed streets like we have in the U.S., where the streets, you know, you can get your sidewalks or walkers out. The tender ports, some people are skittish or think they can't take the tender boat to get to ports. Like Carbo is a tender port, shore, or port, if you will. We have to take a smaller boat to go over to the port because the big ship can't dock there.
Mhm.
But they have accessibility where you can take your scooters or your walkers on that. And just check with your excursions. Some of the buses have lifts and some don't. But just always check. So,
Mhm.
you know, those are always possibilities as well.
Now we happened to meet. We just met on this ship last sailing because we were back to back. Was it the last? It was almost the last day when we met. But we met because I know Free, and Free was like, "Oh, my mom is on that ship." So, but how do you, outside of that kind of thing, how do you meet other people just in general? Say you're not on a group cruise, you just on a cruise. How you meet other people?
Yeah, well, I'm usually not on a group cruise, so therefore I'm usually solo by myself. But I'm, as you can see, very friendly. I talk, and people will strike up conversations. You know, I like to go to the main dining room, but even in the Lido or the buffet, you know, you sit there and people just start talking, and you just start talking back. A lot of times you learn from each other as well. That's another thing I like about cruises. Like this morning, I learned from Miss Linnell that at the omelet station in the buffet, you can actually order fresh cracked eggs scrambled. It's not just omelet. So
Yep.
always learning, you
Yep.
know. And then this morning, what did you learn about the deck and it being wet?
Oh yeah. So I making an assumption. You know what they say when you assume. I made an assumption that it's wet out here. It must have rained. And she like, no, they be spraying it down out here. And I'm like, no, they don't spray it down out here. What you talking about? They don't. That's from the rain. So we asked the guy. He's like, oh yeah, she was right. The teenager was right. He said we spray it down. We hose it down, just the part that's out, because the smoke from the smokestack, the black
From that
soot,
chimney.
comes down onto the deck, so the top deck, so they hose it down. So yeah, I learned that, and we met quite a few other people, just you and I having breakfast. So I ran into a couple that I saw on Valor. They remembered me, and I kept looking at the husband because the wife had her back to me. I kept looking at the husband like, I know this guy from somewhere. And he finally said, you was on Valor, huh? So we talked, and we met at Al Fresco dining at Al Fresco, and then we saw each other again on the dining room. And then across from us, we saw a couple. It was their, is it 19th anniversary? Stacy and Bert.
So, yes.
Their 19th anniversary, and just strike up a conversation, just a friendly, hello, how you doing? Will get somebody to start talking. Now, if you don't want to meet people because you're in a mood, like us introverts sometimes be, then don't say nothing to nobody because they're going to talk to you. Okay? But if you want to meet people, like this person here is asking this question, how do you meet people? If you want to meet people, all you got to do is say hello or good morning. And friendly people are going to be friendly, and, oh, how you doing? Where you from? You start finding what you got in common.
And people learn from each other, you know, like she was talking about the couple that we met at breakfast. You know, they've been to Ensenada and Cabo a number of times, you know, and they could give us pointers on places to eat, places to see, places to go. They've actually done it, as well as some modes of transportation, you know.
Yep.
Did you know you can actually take an Uber or Lyft in some of these countries, you know, to get to where you're going? And sometimes they're a lot less than the people that are soliciting for you to go with them.
Yeah.
You can even take, and I've done this, Miss Solo Traveler. I've taken the city bus in Puerto Vallarta.
Okay. I haven't taken the city bus in Puerto Vallarta. I took it in Long Beach, but not. I've taken it in other countries, but not Puerto Vallarta. So you got one on me on that one. Yeah, they also taught us about a place here in Ensenada called Cabo Wabo. Some of you who come here all the time, you probably know about it, but we had never heard about it. So got to check that out one of these days.
Yeah, if you take the city tour in Cabo, a lot of them include Cabo Wabo. I saw it on the list. I haven't done the city tour yet.
Oh, we're not in Cabo. We're in Ensenada. But in Cabo, not in Ensenada. Yeah. I thought the automatic gratuities were awesome at first, but now that I'm not so sure it is extra for the workers, I'm questioning it. That's an individual thing. Some people think it's extra. Some people feel that you should include it. That's a personal thing. Don't let anybody else's decision influence you. That's something you can think for yourself. But certain people, like I say all the time, certain people do it different ways. If you want to leave the regular gratuities that the ships charge, you feel comfortable doing that, then you do that. If you want to do like I do, take off the automatic gratuities and pay cash. If that makes you feel better, then do that. If you don't want to pay no gratuity at all because you got bad service, can't nobody judge your money. You earned that money. You do with it what you want to.
Can I put in a personal ad?
Oh, yes.
My personal ad is this. Vanilla is awesome. Please be sure if you haven't subscribed to subscribe to her channel. Now, my personal ad is if you need a realtor, have any realtor questions or real estate questions for California, the state of California, please look me up. And you can Google me. I am with Century 21 right now. Been there all of my real estate career. But just Google me, Sandra Sample, Sample, Sample the realtor, and that is me, and you can reach out and touch. Thank you.
Boom, bam. Yeah, came for cruising, got you a real estate agent. Have you ever been on a back-to-back ship with an outbreak? I have never. Never got anything worse than a cold on a cruise ship. That was contagious. I've been sick, stuff I did, because I'm old.
And can I just say one more thing? Just a tip. And that is, and I've never been sick either. You know, I'm a baby cruiser, although I made platinum this last trip here on Carnival, which means I have at least 75 sea days on this cruise. So obviously I must cruise quite a bit. But I always bring some, I'll just say some backup, meaning if you may get seasick, be sure and bring some seasick, kind of medicine. But I also bring some cold kind of medicine, like sore throat medicine, like throat lozenges, or allergy kind of medicine, Neosporin, just some backup stuff. And sometimes even if you don't need it, you might run across a fellow cruiser, which has happened with me. Someone needed something and I had it and I could offer it to them. That's another thing you'll find about cruisers. We're very friendly, willing to share. If you haven't joined a Facebook group for the cruise you're planning to go on, I'd recommend that, because people give tips and you get to kind of know people, at least through Facebook, and then sometimes you actually meet them on the ship and you can put in the group, hey, I have a headache. Does anybody have any, whatever you're looking for, and people will respond.
I've seen that quite a few times. Also, too, especially if you like to do casino pools, so you won't be like me walking around the ship and it's like, wow, them 20, 30 people over there. Well, if you was on Facebook, we was doing a casino pool. Everybody put in $20 and now we don't want 20 grand and you got left out. So someone wants to know if I'm going to do the Oasis of the Seas Super Bowl 2027 group cruise. I have not committed yet to a group cruise. I have not committed to any ship. Right now, the poll is leaning towards Harmony of the Seas. So if we do a group cruise, and we're still trying to decide if we're going to do that, because we're looking at how much is it, what else is going on over there? Are there deals out there that people will be able to do? Make sure my schedule, which right now my schedule is open, and the person who's doing it, their schedule, I think is gonna sync up. So I think we're good on schedules. Just has not been confirmed yet. But right now it's not leaning towards Oasis because of the poll that we got. But if it comes out where when she does some research and oh wait, Harmony, it looked like this initially, but Oasis is gonna be this instead. Maybe we should do Oasis instead. I don't know. So I can't commit. I can't really answer that question or commit to anything. So that's where we're at right now. Hey Cheryl. Sig the Solo Cruiser is in here somewhere. I see Miss Wanda saying hey to her. I must have missed it. I'm not happy with the Capital One change from, it was MasterCard. I thought it was Visa to Discover. Not as good for international travel. That's my thing. I'm like, listen, I'm all over all over this globe right now, and don't nobody take no Discover. What they switching over to Discover for? I don't know. I mean, let's wait and see is my thing, but I do know to keep, what is that noise? I do know to keep backup credit cards and backup debit cards for whatever I'm out of the country. So,
I have another tip.
Yep.
And that's this. I had some cousins who were on Peninsula with me, and they ran into this situation. A lot of you use the tap and pay with your phones. Also bring the physical card. You can use the tap and pay with the ATMs here on the ship, but when you get off and go to port, some of them require that you have the physical card as well. And they ran into that. They couldn't just tap and pay. So bring your physical card also.
I never knew that you could use tap and pay at an ATM machine.
Here on the ship.
I didn't know you could do that nowhere. I just learned something new. I thought you always had to slide the card in.
Yeah, on the ship. At least on Carnival's.
So Julie Wright is leaving on Royal Caribbean in Long Beach this weekend too on Quantum. Is that what you're gonna be on?
I'm gonna be on Quantum. Who is that?
Julie Wright. So Miss Julie, you know Miss Sandra's face. She don't know your face, so make sure you say hey when you see her.
Yeah, we get on tomorrow, right, Julie?
I didn't realize you could get 1 year of prescriptions. That's helpful. Yep, I do 1 year prescriptions. She answered all the laundry questions, all these questions in her videos. Yep, I answered those. The U.S. doesn't have health insurance requirement anymore. I must have missed those questions. I didn't see those questions. Target is closer than Walmart in Long Beach. Yep. I got on bus 121, which is the closest bus that comes to the cruise port, pier, terminal, whatever. And I got on 121, and I just wanted to be nosy and see where it went. Listen, don't do that. Because I was almost late for the ship. I got on the ship like 15 minutes, and the lady from Carnival was calling me, and I was still on the city bus with like 15 more minutes to get just from where I was at to the bus dropping me off. And then I still had to take a scooter. That's another story. A scooter from that bus stop to get to the ship. And that lady's like, we closing our doors at 2:15. And here it is like 1:45, and she calling me. No, they was closing the doors at 2:30. It was 1:45 when she called me, and I got to the ship at 2:15. But anyway, yeah, I got on the city bus, and it took me all the way to Cal State Long Beach, and even further than that, but that was the biggest thing that I saw. And we stopped at 2nd and PCH, which is where I went to get my In-N-Out burger fix on. Yeah, I didn't see any Walmarts in Long Beach. I looked it up, and it's like, yeah, they far away. What reward benefits do you receive as a constant cruiser do you find the most helpful? As far as perks, between laundry on Carnival and drinks and Wi-Fi discount on Royal. So I would say the most helpful is the laundry on Carnival.
But to get the laundry, you have to get it free. You have to be at least a platinum member.
Yeah.
So if you're not a platinum member and you are not a first-time cruiser, I think starting with the second cruise, and you may not know this, you can get the tall bottle of water free. Okay, you just need to go to Pixel. Well, and not Pixel, you can go to any bar and ask for that. So I think with your blue card even, you can get that. I think with the blue card you can get the tall bottle of water.
Hi Renee, I don't know who Luella is, but I'm Linnell, and this is Sandra. Hey.
For sure with the gold card. So
Did it go? Oh, she said already. Sorry, it takes me all night. I love your videos. Thank you. Can you eat in your room if you don't feel like going to the dining room? Girl, you on vacation? Oh, that's not a girl. That's a guy. Kenneth. Sorry, Kenneth. Spoke too soon. Yes, you never have to go in the dining room if you don't want to. You can go to the Lido deck and bring your food to the room. You can just order from room service and eat in your cabin. Yes, you can eat in your cabin. You can go to In-N-Out Burger and bring your burger. No, you can't bring open food through security. It depends on the ship. I haven't tried on this ship, but I did try to go through one time, and I had my box of my favorite cereal is not Kellogg's. Why is my mind blocked, John? Like Special K with almonds, and I brought my cereal on the ship, and then I went to another ship, and the cereal box was open, and they're like, no, you can't bring open food on.
Yeah, I had a package of Doritos.
Yeah.
And it was open. I couldn't bring it on. But the unopened package, I could.
But the right hand don't know what the left hand doing. When I first got on this ship, I had water in my my I don't know, my water glass, my bottle that I keep, and they made me pour it out. I got off the ship 3 times. All 3 times when I came back on the back to back, I had an open bottle of water, like this, was already open. It went straight through security. They did not make me pour it out.
Carnival,
they don't know what they're doing.
Their rule is you can't bring plastic onto the ship. Okay.
I still brought it.
I understand you got through. You got through. But I'm just saying their rule of thumb
supposedly
is
you're supposed to bring
can't
cartons or cans.
Yeah, and that includes soda. Like you can bring soda, you can bring like a 6-pack of soda, but not the plastic bottles on Carnival. Now Royal Caribbean, they will allow plastic.
Supposedly, because like I said in a previous video a year ago when I was on Venezia, I was helping an elderly lady who's in front of me, and she had a whole case of plastic bottled water that I was helping her lift onto the security thing, and ain't nobody say nothing about it.
Okay. Well, she probably said, like my honey would say, it's for the medicine, so I don't know. But I will tell you this, which I didn't know, and like Ensenada, okay? There was a gentleman who brought a whole case of water onto the ship. He gotten off in Ensenada, he brought it back onto the ship. And when he was going to bring it on through TSA, you know, on the show, I call them all TSA. I said, well, you can't bring that because it's plastic. And it went through fine. Here's the thing. Those that will stop you, it's out of a U.S. port. Once you leave the U.S. and you go to a non-U.S. port, you can bring plastic back onto the ship.
Yeah, they don't care.
Remember though, Catalina is still a U.S. port. So don't purchase it there and try and bring it up.
My grandkids live in a whole nother country, so I don't get to see them regularly either. The struggle is real. Yeah, I don't see it as a struggle. I think absence makes the heart grow fonder. So at least so far, whenever I see my grandkids, it's even more special, and we have even, you know, a better time than if I was right there seeing them all the time. But yeah, I do miss them jokers. I don't really miss them. I miss seeing them on a regular basis. Cruise ship moves away from the storms. Yep. Someone was answering Gina's question. Have you ever taken medicine for seasickness? My very first cruise, I was told to take medicine for seasickness. I did it and I never took it again. So what had happened was, someone told me, you're going to be seasick, take some Dramamine. And this was me, my husband, and all 3 kids. We took Dramamine. For us, it was like Benadryl. We all went slap to sleep. We were so drowsy walking around that ship, and we was like, no. Then somebody else the next day said, girl, don't take it during the day. Take it before you go to bed. So the part that makes you drowsy, you're going to sleep anyway. By the time you wake up, it's in your system. And then just take it every night before you go to bed. So we did that for that very first cruise. We never got seasick. I'm trying to think, did anybody else in the party? No, none of us ever got seasick that I know of.
Dramamine now makes them what they call non-drowsy.
Yeah. And then I never took Dramamine or anything else since then, and I've never been seasick. Have you?
I've never been seasick, but like she said, my first cruise, I didn't take Dramamine, but my daughter, Frelima, hanging with the Howards, she gets all of this stuff. So she had drops you could put behind your ear. She had the bracelet you could put on for seasickness. So I think she put, maybe she did one or the other different cruises, but I never got seasick. And I've been on a ship that was rocking and rolling because I'm usually at the front of the ship. And the movement of the boat, I guess it depends. Me, I'm a big baby, so it's like somebody's rocking me to sleep. But you know, I have waken up when the ship was moving. But by the grace of God, yes, I've never gotten seasick either.
Gina's World has a good tip. If you're not a casino person and you don't enjoy gambling, don't try to get a free cruise. You will complain about losing your money. Amen. Casino, you should treat it just like any other form of entertainment, right? If you're gonna spend $100 at the movies, you don't go in there and spend $1,000. You know, no, I was gonna spend $100 at the movies. That's what the movies is worth to me. If you're going to play $200 in the casino, or $5 in the casino, or $1,000 in the casino, that's what you spend. Don't go in there trying to win no free cruise. So very good tip. Thanks, Gina. Always going to casinos with an amount I'm willing to lose. Yep. Typically, I've not lost that amount. Yep. Depends on the ship. Yep. Hello. Know it varies ship to ship, but which has better food overall, Royal or Carnival? Better food overall. I'm gonna say, in my case, this ain't a part of the multiple choice, but Princess. Even though I ain't like that sailing on that Princess ship, Princess had the best food I ever had on the cruise ship. I was on Sun Princess, and for me, Royal and Carnival are about the same. I like Royal better in the food category as far as the dining experience, because they give you that white tablecloth, they give you that customer service way better. For Carnival, I like the food experience better in the fact that they have more included options, and I don't say free because you paid for it, right? Included options as far as the guys burgers and the burrito place, Chicken Shack, the deli, yeah. But Royal has, they both have pizza, right? Royal has another thing called, I can never think what it's called. Where you was telling me where the coffee is at?
Cerritos.
No, Sorrento's is the
That's
pizza.
Sorry.
There's
It's on the
another one.
promenade.
It might be called the Promenade. Cafe Promenade.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
what
it.
it's called.
So they have that one too, but usually it's like thinker sandwiches, stuff that you would eat at tea time. But other than that, they don't have like a, not newer ships excluded. They don't have like a burger place like that.
And then
They
some-
have a burger place, but you pay for it.
And then the bigger, like the icon kind of ships,
Yeah.
they have the Pearl Cafe and some other things.
Yeah, they got a Pearl Cafe, and they got that I call it a food court over in the Overlook. Hey there, don't block me. You go fast finance accounting girl. Oh, David got jokes. Have you or did you ever play on Virgin or Disney? Okay, for me, it is not looking like I would ever sail on either one of those ships, and I'll tell you why. Virgin, I'm very low-key. I said it before, I've never been to a nightclub, never plan to go to one on land or on sea. And every time I see videos on YouTube of people who've been on Virgin and talked about it to me, it always sounds like it's a 24-hour party. I know they probably got quiet spaces and shows and stuff like that, but the impression that I get is all a party thing, and I'm not about that life right there. And if it ain't party thing, it's, I can't say the word on here, but there's a video going around about the playroom, that kind of stuff. It's all adult, so you know, I'm not judging nobody. They want to do that, that's fine. And it's all about, you know, the drinking and the getting overly intoxicated and all that. I can live without that. I'm not saying that's what it is. That's the impression I got so far. Maybe somebody would change my mind about it. Disney is all about kids, and their cost is not just more expensive, but 2 to 3 times more expensive than it is to just get on a family cruise like Royal or Carnival. For me, I think Royal's better for families, but Carnival is more for younger adults, like 20s and 30s who like to party. So I think of Royal when I think of family. So I would think you could spend half the money and have just as good a time on Royal as you would spending 2 to 3 times for the same experience on Disney. That's just my impression. Oh, plus they don't got no casino, so they ain't giving me no free casino deals on Disney. So I don't see that in my purview anytime. Have you been on either one? No. I might if I really wanted to ball out and take my grandkids, because I grew up in Orlando and I know the Disney magic is really is magic. I don't care what nobody say. So I know it's worth that. But me living on a budget, Nah, I don't see it happening. But that's a good question. I don't think anybody's ever asked me that. Let's see. If you just joining, I'm just answering questions. I started the video out, an hour and a half ago, answering the most popular questions that I get on YouTube. And I'm here on Carnival Forensic with my friend, Miss Sandra. And we are docked in Ensenada. So if you have a question that I was not able to answer, I ain't gonna say that because I answer all questions on YouTube. But if there's a new question or you haven't seen the answer to a question that you have, let me know. Is there a secret menu or favorite dish most guests don't know about? Not that I know of. I know there's one in and out. How about you? I know there is that chocolate, what is it called? It's not lava cake. That chocolate
chocolate melting cake.
Yeah,
That's
I do know for that you can, a lot of people don't know that you can ask it to be done a certain way. So sometimes you get it and it's like pudding, sometimes you get it and it's kind of like cake, and sometimes you get it's kind of like a mixture of both. You can ask them, I want it, pull it out as soon as it's done. I want it just like when it's pudding. I want it, well done. I don't want to see nothing wet. I want it like a regular cake, so you can ask for it well done. So I do know that. And then the other, it ain't a secret menu, but another thing that people don't know is adults can order off the kids menu. So if you want a banana split, which is not on the regular menu, then yes, you can get that. Ask them for the different flavors depending on which ship it is. Almost all Carnival ships, not sure about Royal, almost all Carnival ships, I can ask for butter pecan ice cream. A lot of people don't know that, and they have butter pecan ice cream. It's not on the menu.
Yeah, that's what I was going to also say about the ice cream. You can ask for ice cream. There's different flavors. My favorite is also butter pecan, but I think they have strawberry, and of course they have vanilla with chocolate.
Yeah. I asked my server the other day, I said, I want some Rocky Road ice cream. He was from the Philippines. He's like, I don't know what that is. So I showed him on the phone. He was like, nope, we ain't got that. I said, bring me some chocolate ice cream. Guess what? When I went to CVS, I had me some marshmallows, some nuts, and some chocolate chips. I made my own Rocky Road. I had a craving that day. Let's see. Didn't know Royal had more activities. Yep. Have you been on Virgin? Just answered that. They will match offers from Carnival. Yeah, even though I can get a free cruise on Virgin, that tells you how much I feel about not going on it. It's just not something I'm interested in. I might go. I'm not saying I'm never gonna go. Have you ever been caught in really rough seas? I wouldn't say really rough. I've been on rough seas. I've never been on really rough. Rough as in it's been rocking so much that they brought out the barf bags and people were grabbing them, but not that I've ever seen anybody barfing. Have you?
No, I haven't even had it on one they brought out the barf bags.
Yeah, they don't go that close to storms. They avoid them. Like this one here, we didn't get to go to Cabo because the waves were so high because of Priscilla. And even though the storm wasn't hitting, the waves from the outer bands were hitting so much that the tender boats would not have been able to take people from the ship to port. So yeah, the ships are not even going to go there. They're just going to go somewhere else. And as we know, if you do watch Hanging with the Howards, they couldn't go to Bermuda because of the two storms that were over there. They end up having to go to Canada. So yeah, the ships, you're not going to get really rough seas.
In Carnival, as most cruise lines do, they reiterate often, it's safety first. So even though you have your heart set and your packing and all of that is for a certain destination, it's on the itinerary. Nature happens, so don't get too upset if they have to change the itinerary. I mean, we could have stayed parked in Ensenada because we're there twice, but we didn't. We came out to see it. Of course, there are people who wanted to go to Cabo, but again, safety first, and it is a nice day here in Ensenada. So.
Yep, exactly. Let's see. I enjoyed your chef invitation video. Will you do something like that again? If the opportunity presented itself. One of the things that Rob and Allie in Grounded Life YouTube After 40 course, one of the things that he teaches in that course is never let an opportunity pass you by. So if something comes up and I have that opportunity within reason. So yeah, there might be an opportunity to go skydiving. I ain't about that life. But yeah, within reason, if I get the opportunity to go behind the scenes and do something like that, some ships charge you to do that. Would I pay 120, 150 bucks to do it? Probably not. But if I got invited to do something like that for free, like I did with the alfresco and the behind the scenes, um, what ship was that? Carnival Valor is where it was. Yeah, I would do that again.
Can I say one more thing?
Oh yes,
for
yes.
the
Well, I'm looking for
I'm
next
scared
question.
cruise because I can't swim.
Oh,
I hear that a lot.
that should have
You
been one of
know.
my questions.
Yes, I hear that a lot. In fact, I have a friend right now. She wants to cruise. She says, but I can't swim. Guess what? I can't swim either. I have over 75 days on water now. And one of my hesitations really was that I could not swim. And I said, this is way too much water to drink. However, you know, they're very safe, you know. I mean, you rarely hear of a cruise ship going down. Okay, but they take all kind of precautions. You have life jackets, you have the lifeboats. When you go on these excursions and you're on water, the first thing they have you do is put on your life jacket. And I feel very at ease being on the ocean water. I love being out in the ocean, actually. So don't let the fact that you cannot swim scare you. The pools on the deck are, I don't even know if they're 5 feet. You know, and of course you don't have to get in it unless you don't want to, but you know, when I get in the pool anyway, I don't get more than waist high anyway. But, and there's jacuzzis, you know, and just relaxation.
I do. I swim in them.
Yeah, so don't let, excuse me, I can't swim stop you from going on a cruise.
Yeah.
Okay?
I hear that a lot
And
too.
don't let life pass you by.
And even if, like, I don't know how many thousands or millions of sailings they've had, and there was maybe, you know, 2 or 3 incidences over the whole however long. Even if something was to happen and the worst was to happen, you got life vests, you already got your drill, they got lifeboats, they got all kinds of technology. Listen, you're gonna be safe, you're gonna be fine.
And let's face it, you take your life in your hands more often when you get behind the wheel of the car and on the other side is a passenger. So.
Exactly. Have you considered purchasing a full-time cabin? No, because I am doing this on a whim. Again, if you know my story, then you know I wasn't planning to do this, and I'm only doing this because it is within my budget, and buying a full-time cabin is not something that's in my budget. So no. Weather is nice today. It was nice. This sun, listen, clouds, come. Where are you, friends? It's burning up out here now. It's not really burning up.
No,
Just the direct sunlight on my toes. Like, this part is okay.
And this will burn off.
Yeah.
And it will be warmer.
I fell in love with Vietnam when I went to, gosh, I miss those days. Daily massages and hair washes. I know. And I have a friend now, Miss I'm gonna say her name wrong, Demetria. Sorry. Her channel is She Roams Free. Denisha. Anyway, I've been watching her channel, and she was in Thailand, and now she in Vietnam. She is in Da Nang, Vietnam, which is my place, and I'm so mad at her that I can't even watch them videos no more because I want to go back. I'm like, I'm gonna jump ship. I'm gonna leave these cruise ships and go to Vietnam. But yeah, I love Vietnam. You say you might go to Vietnam next year. What are your decision-making factors? My decision-making factors, Janet, that's a good question, is can I get a cruise over there? Because I'm not getting a lot of offers from Carnival, but I'm getting quite a few offers from Royal, and I have 2 so far, European cruises. So I have some time between when I'm going to be on an African safari and I'm going to be on a cruise to Hawaii. So I'm going to try to circle the globe. I'm on some other stuff too. So starting over on the East Coast, going over to Europe, going over to Africa, and then between that time between Africa and my Hawaii trip, I have a couple months. So can I get an offer from Royal for a cruise over in Singapore or Southeast Asia that goes to Vietnam? Is there a group trip with my travel group, YouTube? It's not YouTube After 40, Grounded Life Retirement Jumpstart Travel Group. I probably said it all wrong. Are they gonna have some group trips where because I'm still learning how to travel internationally. Are they going to have some group trips over there during this time period between those two trips that I could travel with them? Are they going to Vietnam? My brother and my sister also have some European trips that they're planning. Not sure if it's going to be during that time frame and if it's where I want to go. So if it's something that I might want to join them, then I might not go to Vietnam. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm waiting for. I could just plan it now and say I'm going to Vietnam, but no, I want to see if there's opportunity to do stuff with some other people or get a cruise deal with Royal, because I've never been to Singapore except to stop in the airport. But I heard that there's some really nice cruises out of there. So yeah, that's my determining factor and why I haven't made a decision yet. That was a good question. What's the percentage of solo travelers versus couples versus people traveling with children? I would say it definitely would depend on time of year as far as children. Right now, I would say less than 5% of the ship is kids. But when they have kids, you know they got kids, because them jokers be running and yelling and jumping. But the ships do a really good job of also keeping them separated. So they're usually not in the same sections that the adults are, unless they're having a family type thing. Like on this ship, for instance, they might have ice carving, or now at the time of year, there's pumpkin carving over on the Lido deck. So then, yeah, you're going to see the kids and adults interacting. But other than that, the kids are usually at the kids club or in their own element. They don't want to go see the movie The Great Gatsby or the NFL game. But during spring break, it's like 90% kids.
In the summer.
In the summer. Yeah, and it depends on what location and the length of the cruise. The shorter the cruises are, the more kids and younger adults you're going to see, and the more ratchetness you're going to see. The longer the cruises are, the more mature adults you're going to see and less kids.
You know, that's an interesting question they asked about, all they included in that question, how many solo travelers there are versus couples. And I thought about that. I don't remember ever seeing any numbers on that. You know, they'll give numbers of how many people are on board and how many are different tier levels and stuff. But I don't remember.
I think for safety reasons they wouldn't want to give that out.
They've given any numbers on number of solo travelers.
But just from my observation, if I had to guess, like when I see other people, mainly you wouldn't know unless like you were in a sitting situation, like the main dining room or walking around the buffet or something, seeing somebody sitting solo.
But that doesn't even mean that they're by themselves.
That's true. Yeah.
So, you know, conversation is how.
Yeah, because I get up early to walk, and sometimes if it's cold outside or windy because the ship is moving, so you'll feel the wind, I'll go and walk around in the buffet area, so I'm inside. And the last time I did that, after I walked, I sat and I got some cereal, and I noticed the lady in front of me was by herself, and the lady behind me was by herself. But then I struck up a conversation. Me, who's supposed to be the introvert, I'm not introverted no more, supposedly. People keep saying I'm extroverted now. I don't know if you can change. But anyway, I broke up, spoke to both of them, and both of them were in groups, and they were both saying, oh, my people just not up yet. So yeah, you're right. You can't just go by seeing somebody sitting alone. But if I had to guess, maybe 15%? What would you guess? That were solo?
Too,
yeah. Definitely more couples and also a lot of groups
and families. Family, girl trips, those kind of things,
Yeah, but I think definitely we are the smaller percentage as far as solos. Anyone know what the ship she's currently on? I thought I said it often enough. I'm on Carnival Forensic, here with my friend Sandra Sample, the real estate agent in California. If you need a real estate agent in California, look her up.
And I will say this regarding solo travelers, or solo cruises, if you will. I don't know what the percentage is, but it's very interesting. When I'm talking to couples sometimes, there's quite a few couples who met on a cruise, I mean, whether they were solo with the group, they were single, obviously, at the time, I guess, I hope. But anyway.
That's a whole nother video.
There are quite a few people who actually met and connected and have been married for years who met on cruises. That's not a plug to try and come find a future spouse on the cruise. I'm just saying, okay? Another reason not to be afraid that you can't swim.
Is there a basketball court or bowling alley? On this ship, there's no bowling alley, but there is a sports court, so they use it sometimes for basketball, pickleball, soccer. I can't think of anything else they use it for. That's the only thing that I've seen them use it for. But yes, it's actually on this deck 11. Right? We walked past it when we was walking. Yeah.
And then you said volleyball too. Right?
No, I didn't say volleyball. I didn't see them playing volleyball. It's on the cruise life training, definitely about the journey. Do you ever feel like you're still moving when you're back on land? I don't. I used to when I wasn't living on cruise ships. Whenever I go back to work, I would still feel the ship swaying, but I don't anymore.
Apparently that is a thing though. I saw it in and they have a term for sea legs, I think is what it's called. You know, I saw it on Facebook group. Some people said they experienced it, but I haven't.
Yeah. How many Carnival ships have you been on? I don't know. If I had to guess, maybe 10 or 12. I think there's 30 of them. So, no, I think I've been on half of them. So maybe 15. Well, I think I have at least half of them scheduled. So maybe 10 or 12 now, but by the time the end of next year will be 15. How about you?
On Carnival?
On Carnival.
Okay. Remember, I'm a baby cruiser. So
oh, yeah, you know.
Yeah. I've done mostly out of Long Beach and their shorter cruises, you know. But I'm learning from the big girls.
Between me and Free, we gonna have you all of them. Is there pool and darts? There's definitely pool. Oh, like billiards? No, there's no billiards. There's no darts on this ship. No. I've definitely seen them on royal ships. If they have a, they might be on other ships too, but definitely on royal if they have a playmakers. All their playmakers have billiards and darts. But I've never seen one. They have them on Carnival ships. If you go to the Red Frog Pub, they have them, but just not on this ship. Do they have billiards? I know they have darts for sure. I'm trying to think the last ship I was on that was Carnival that had a Red Frog Pub. Kietha, come on, help us. I'm guessing you're talking about YouTube. I'm gonna do my best. It's something that I'm excited about and I want to do, but I got to make sure that it's hard for someone to teach something when they live on cruise ships. If you catch my drift, so got to make sure that it's worth your time and that it's really gonna help you. If I'm not helping nobody, it ain't worth doing it. I don't want to waste nobody's time. Hoping we see you on the cruise. Super shocked when you announce what ship you are on and how long. Only because I'm already on the ship and I'm already safe. So if somebody wants to get on this ship, that was another thing people ask me about all the time. You're not worried, you're not scared. What about your safety and stuff like that? Yeah, we were just talking about that the other day. In order to get to my housing, to where I live, and I hardly ever get off the ship, and if I do, you won't know when and if I get off the ship. But to get on my ship, you got to show your ID. They know your address. You can't bring no weapon on here. They won't even let you bring a butter knife, even though they got butter knives on the ship. There's cameras all around. There's security all around. This ship and some other ships, not all of them, has a dog who walks. I've seen him. I don't know if he always on the ship, but I have seen him on this ship since I've been on it. But yeah, I feel pretty safe. Sometimes you see this stuff on the news about different incidents that happen on cruise ships. That's because you got all these thousands of cruises going out. When one bad thing happens, that's the one they're gonna show on the news. They're not gonna show all the positive stuff that happened. So yeah, I'm not worried. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. Yeah, so I didn't mind announcing this cruise here. But someone asked me where I was going after this, and all I say now is I'm gonna be on another ship. Best excursion for Mazatlan. Have you been to Mazatlan?
Mm-hmm.
You have a best that you did?
Let me think.
I only did one, and I don't remember the name of it, but there's a video on here. If you search in YouTube, Mazatlan, Poverty to Paradise, that video will pop up, and you'll see my excursion. We did a whole bunch of stuff on that, and it was super fun, which made me fall in love with Mazatlan.
Okay, there's a person that, for Lima, hanging with the Howards, contacted, I don't know, maybe a year or more ago, and he does an excursion, which is really good, you know. And if you have a scooter, and I keep saying this because a lot of, you know, people do have mobility issues. By the grace of God, I don't have that, but I travel with people who do sometimes. You know, I meet people who do.
We be walking and she be out walking me. I be huffing and puffing trying to keep up with her.
But, you know, he has space in the back so that your walker could go back there, or if you have a scooter. And, but he does an excellent tour mod salon. And it's very reasonable. I can't remember the cost, but if you reach out to Hanging with the Howards and ask her, she'll let you know. And so usually we do that. Now, the last time we did it, he also took us to a section where you could buy, it was like an open seafood market, and you could buy the seafood, and then he just took it right across the street to the restaurant, and they cooked it fresh, cleaned it, cooked it, served it, all this. It was more food than we could eat. So he's really excellent, and now I can't think of his name. You know, I have sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't. But if you reach out to Anya with the Howard and ask Relima that question, she'll definitely hook you up.
They don't know her by that name. Her name is Free.
Yeah, okay, free.
Free.
Free TV. But Hanging with the Howard, reach out to them, and she'll definitely hook you up on who.
David asks, have you thought about doing independent travel between cruises? The advantage of independent travel is that you can control your whole itinerary and stay as long as you wish to see everything. No, I live full time on cruise ships. That's like asking me would I go take a rent an Airbnb in my hometown. No, I'm going home. This is my home. If I don't have the opportunity to stay in my home, like for instance when they did that dry dock, when I took Valor from New Orleans to Barcelona and then Barcelona back, but I had to wait 30 days and I didn't have a cruise in between, then it made sense for me to fly over to Vietnam and spend time with the group travel. That they were only there for a week, but I was there for the whole 24 days. And yes, I fell in love with that. And maybe in the future that might be something that I do. But no, right now, this is what I like to do. I've taken, before I started living full-time on cruise ships, I've taken other vacations, flown to San Juan, flown to LA, flown to different places to have a land vacation. And hey, there's Free right there. Her son is at Shady Do-Rags. Yep, that's my son. Hey, Free. And Keith. Let's see. Is there anything you wished you would have learned sooner? I don't think so. Well, not about cruising. There's other things I could answer about that, but as far as living full-time on cruise ships, I mean, yeah, there's some things that you learn. It's like, oh, I'm just finding out about that. But it's not like a regret thing. It's like, oh, I didn't know. Yeah, but I think I have that in my spirit that everything happens for a reason at the time that it happens. So if I didn't know about something earlier that I should have known, that you would think I should have known, that's probably because God didn't want me to know it at that time, because maybe I couldn't handle it or whatever the case may be. I don't know. You mean something small like, I don't know, if you on back-to-back cruises, you can turn in and you don't drink alcohol, you got a champagne bottle. You can turn that in and get free soda. I don't know if it's something like that.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
That's like tips, but no, I don't have regrets about it, or wish I would have known them sooner. Just it is what it is. Vanessa, I'm proud of you. You now becoming open to the idea of teaching the course. Yep, I asked you a while ago, and you said that's not my ministry. You were one of the people that maybe God was using you to put that in my spirit to plant that seed. So we shall see if it comes to fruition. I told my mom, but she is doing it. Okay, so yeah, we shall see if it comes to fruition. Especially now that I ain't gonna say I know it all. I obviously don't, because I could put a video out there and maybe 5 people watch it. But I'm definitely not gonna say I know everything it is about YouTube. But I feel that what I do know about YouTube, if you've been watching my channel for a minute, you already know I'm not a gatekeeper. I don't want to hold on to it. I want to tell everybody about it. Listen, if you got a YouTube channel, do this right here to get more views. I want everybody to do better and, you know, make more money and enjoy their livelihood or whatever. So, yep. I'm hoping I get to be able to do it. How do you navigate having relationships and friendships without cruising? Same way I did online. I don't got no, if you mean like a romantic relationship, I don't have none of that. I've dated a couple times on cruises, but nah, they that's a whole nother video. But as far as friends, I still have the same friends that I had before. Again, I can reach out. Most of the time, I like, because I moved around so much, like the friends that I have, it's like if I go back to their city and visit with them, then we can hang out. But other than that, I'm hanging out in Georgia or wherever I was at. So same thing, I'm on cruise ships. If I, before I got on this ship, I actually met with some friends, Dave and Nikki, and I posted their picture up on the screen. Yeah, we hung out, we went to dinner and stuff like that. And as I'm living full time on cruise ships, I have a new set of friends, right? So now I have Miss Sandra, I have Miss Lynn that I met, I have other people that I met on cruise ships that are now my friends. I have people in the YouTube community that are my friends. I have people in the retirement travel jumpstart that are my friends. I have my friends that were my friends already. So yeah, I mean, just like you would navigate having long distance relationship as far as friends being in a different state, I would do the same thing. Well, maybe we'll meet on a cruise, or maybe I'll take some time off and go hang out with them. Maybe when I'm in New Orleans or Orlando or Georgia or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. There's another Lynn. I love cruising. Went to Japan this year on Carnival Luminosa. I see 153 thumbs up. Yeah, we had 250. We got more thumbs up than we got people watching. Some people must have dropped off. I'm glad they at least had a chance to stop by. Y'all did good. Thank y'all for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. And thank you, Madeline Kimmich, for the $2 super chat. I appreciate you so much. If you don't already know, if you send me a super chat, that goes into a separate account that I don't use to just spend on myself or in the casino or anything like that. I use that towards some other classes outside of what I'm doing on a regular basis to learn more about getting better at content, like learn more things about, for instance, I'm in a class where I'm learning about how to make your letters bigger and more colorful. If you look at my old thumbnails compared to now, you'll see that my letters are much bigger, have outlines around them. I learned how to make them in a different shape instead of just make the video stand out so more people can get this content. So thank you for supporting me in that. I use the money in the membership for that also. So if you're part of the membership, thank you for supporting me in that. Do you like the Venezia or this ship better? I like this ship better. The only thing I like about Venezia, these are the same exact ship, except their location, itinerary, and some of the decorations. The way it's set up is the same ship. I like Venezia's main dining room better because of the gondola in the main dining room. And this one has the statue of David with his naked self. But this ship to me has better customer service. And I want 20 grand, so.
That'll make you like this ship better.
But other than that, yeah, they're pretty much the same. If it wasn't for the customer service and the 20 grand, I would like these two ships equally. I would say they're both my favorite ship. Is this your favorite ship? No? You like Venezia better?
I actually like it. And part of maybe why I like Venezia better is because to me there is nothing like the New York skyline.
True.
You know, when you're sailing in and out of New York and the skyline, you have the Statue of Liberty and some other statues, Jersey's on the right, the skyline's on the left when you're leaving, going under the bridge. Last time, and I was just there in September, there was a beautiful rainbow in the sky and it wasn't raining, and so it came over Coney Island and Coney Island. Anyway, you know what Chris knows.
That was my first time in New York. I don't know nothing about the islands.
Oh my gosh! So, and then when you come in, it's early morning, so the skyline is all, you know, all the lights and stuff, and it's just can take wonderful pictures. And the ship itself, like she said, these are sister ships, so the layout is basically the same. But I don't know why, because for some reason I really like Venezia.
Yeah.
better.
Did you sail on Venezia before Firenze? Or did you do Firenze
I sailed on Venezia before Firenze, yeah.
Okay.
Firenze
So
had
might
not
have
yet
a-
sailed, and that was last year. So
Oh, yeah.
Venezia sailed first, so I got on Venezia first, and then Firenze.
So that might be the difference too. You fell in love with that one already. Because
Yes.
if Venezia was coming out of here instead of New York, and Firenze was over there, you was like in New York, not necessarily.
Yeah,
the
I
ship.
think, yeah, I like the skyline. So that
Yeah.
had a lot to do with it. It wasn't 20 grand in the stand, but the scenery had a lot to do with it.
I second her on that. I hope I get to go back to New York and sail again because I love that. At least the Manhattan part. I hear all the crazy stuff about New York, but the Manhattan part, I love that. The only thing I was disappointed in was when we passed by that Statue of Liberty and it looked like it was this big. I'm like, where's the real statue? Thank you, Budget Travel with Liddy. I appreciate you. Thank you, Miss Wanda. With the advances of AI stuff, that is so perfect. Is boring and those AI voices. I don't really know what that means. I think I missed a part of the conversation. Sorry. Thanks for the info about liking videos and receiving notifications. I never knew that. Okay, you're welcome. Thanks, Sam. Have you sailed? Oh, that's somebody. That's a side conversation. I always enjoy it. Relax live Q&As. You're welcome. You're right. It's on Quantum. Okay, so I forgot what it's called now. They were talking about that thing that's at the top of Quantum of the Sea.
North Star?
North Star. They asked me, "What have you been on North Star?" I'm like, "What is that?"
Okay,
But,
so North Star, it takes you,
it's a ride
it's
on top of the ship.
kind of a ride, but it's over, it'll take you out over part of the sea. I haven't been on it yet. So
Oh, it goes over the water.
Over the water.
Well, that
yeah.
might be a horse of a
And
different
then-
color. I thought it
so
was just
there-
over the
So
ship.
there's two versions of that. There's the free version, which you can actually sign up for before you get on the ship if you catch it in time. Otherwise, when you get on the ship, you can sign up to try and get an appointed time and day. There's the free version. There's the paid version, which gives you, as I understand it, it goes further out over the water, and it and for a longer period of time,
Oh.
So there's that, and there's also and I'm gonna get this wrong, but it's there's a show. They have, I think, an aqua show, and then nightclub, and it turns into a show. And that on Quantum. It's also, well, anyway, but you can, in reservations, you can reserve that before you get on Quantum if it doesn't close already. But if you haven't, soon as you get on, go to guest services or find out where you need to go so that you can book your time and day before it fills up and you can't go at all. I mean, you can go, but it's not reserved, kind of like the Icon and Star, where you can get reservations.
Yes.
So you go in first, and then those without reservations come in after and look for a seat, which may not be as easy to find.
Right. Did you already book it, or are you gonna get on it?
I'm gonna get on,
reserved it?
and I didn't reserve it, so I'll get on with you guys.
All right, you and Miss Julie.
Yeah.
Miss Julie, you heard that? If you're gonna be on it, you want to do it for free.
Yeah, so do it as
Sign
soon
up
as you
for
get
it.
on. As soon as you get on, try and get your time slot.
Can you bring bottled water on the ship? We talked about that a little bit ago. Depends on the ship, but most of them say no plastic bottles. But
Caribbean,
reconnecting. You're live. Okay. What's it doing? It says we're live, but yes. 37, 38. It's showing.
camera.
I don't know. I don't know if y'all can still hear me or not. Let me know if you can still hear us. I don't see if you can hear or see us. I don't see or hear us, so I don't know what's happening. But it shows that the live stream is still going. Let me go down to the bottom. They can see us and hear us, but we can't see it.
Oh, okay.
All right,
So you guys are incognito.
That is so wild. Why did it do that? All right, I apologize, and now I have lost my place. I'm gonna go to the bottom and work my way up. So if you had a question, add it. Is your phone hot? It is. That's probably why. We see you. Yes, we see you. We still on your back. I might have to end this soon, y'all. Sorry, I apologize. If it goes out again, I apologize. We're gonna say bye now, but we're gonna hang on as long as we can. And we're gonna keep watching this timer thing. If it stops, that means the live has stopped. So let me see if I can answer a few more before we go. Is your favorite parts based on the cruise line, or does the ship or itinerary matter more? Depend on my mood, just like everything else. Hello. Depend on my mood, just like everything else.
We interrupted?
No, not unless y'all finna do a dance or sing and dance or something. No, okay, we live on YouTube, so.
I just like to find secret decks.
Oh, there you go, secret decks.
The
That's
secret's
us.
out now.
No more secret. I don't think it matters. I do get excited over going to new places. So like when I went through the Panama Canal, I was excited about going to Cartagena, Colombia, and Costa Rica because I'd never been there. But I didn't really care that it was going through the locks. I went to the classes on the ship, and they're like, "Yeah, this is a big deal, girl. Get excited." Then I got excited, which is why I went live. But yeah, like Ensenada, I've been here. I think this is number 8 time that I've been here. I still haven't gotten off the ship. Again, it's my mood. I just don't feel like there's anything out in Ensenada. I've never heard anybody say anything great. It's just another port. I could be totally wrong. I might get off this ship and be like, oh my God, I should have been getting off this every time I come. I might regret it, but yeah, I do like to go to new places. There's been a few places where I went to, like when I was on Carnival Valor, and we stopped in Cadiz, Spain. I didn't get off the ship there. Didn't look, I hadn't heard anything great about it. Didn't look like anything. I could be totally wrong. Alrighty. Let's see if there's any new questions, because this is going to be hard to do now. It's worth going back, folks, and watching that live video. Thank you, Ted. No, that's not Ted. That's Miss Wanda. Thank you. If you haven't seen her video on Panama Canal, it's one of the best. Oh, thank you. Yes, that was fun. Does each ship arrange daily meetups for solo travelers? Yes, they do. I don't go to them. Do you? The question is, do the ships organize meetups for solo travelers? My answer is yes, they do, but I don't go to them. What about you?
Yeah, they do have, when you go to the planner or what's happening, they do have a time slot for I guess they don't call it solo travelers, but anyway, single travelers or whatever. They have different ones for
Sometimes they
different
call them
age
solo.
groups. Okay,
Depending on the
different
ship.
age groups, yeah. And I don't usually go either, you know. Sometimes I pass by and there's hardly any people there anyway, but, you know, I'm not discouraging you from going if you'd like to, but yeah, they do have some.
Yeah. What's one hidden gem destination you think everyone should see? For me, it would be Aruba and the different beaches there, because that to me, even though I couldn't live there, but that to me is the epitome of paradise. And that's where I went with my sisters, and I had the best. That's peace, relaxation, beauty. I don't know. I can't even describe it, but yeah, Aruba would be for me. How about you?
I haven't been to Aruba, but I do know my Lyft driver, when I went from the port to the airport in New York this last time, that was the place he was also saying, and he was from Dominican Republic or someplace, but he also named Aruba as, you know, a must-see. So I have to get there.
Okay. Do you get to choose your cruise when you win a free cruise? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes, oh, she said Miss Sandra's amazing. Sometimes you get a free offer for a cruise, and it's for a free guaranteed room. Could be a free guaranteed balcony, free guaranteed interior, and whatever they offer you, it's going to be that category or higher. Other than the guarantees, then yes, you get to pick your cabin. Yeah.
Now, I will say this, if you have accessibility needs, you need to let your travel agent know that, or if you're using one of the Carnival planners, you need to let them know that as soon as you make your reservation, because they only have a limited number of accessibility cabins. So, and if you, and you cannot leave a wheelchair or scooter out in the hallway, so you need a cabin that the door is wide enough that you can get those mobility devices into the room. And
Most of the time, because people do it, but they're not supposed to. But go ahead.
Well, and I've also heard some cruise lines, I'm not saying all, and even different ships could be different, will actually, I'm told, will store your wheelchair and bring it back, or you know, the walker or whatever, and bring it back to you. But
Yeah.
that's not a guarantee. So the bottom line is, if you have accessibility needs, make that known at the time of reservation, so that you can totally get a room that's an accessible room.
And I'll confirm that part as far as the storage because I used to, if you don't know, I used to use a scooter all the time. I have plantar fasciitis. I can't walk far, so I used to use a scooter. When I went on that cruise with my sisters in Aruba, I had my scooter then, and they did offer. Nope, it was a cruise before that. That one I had an accessible room, but the cruise before that, or yeah, before that, I think I was on Royal. They offered because I was in a regular interior, so I couldn't bring the scooter in. I would just bring the battery in my room and charge it and leave the scooter out in the hallway. And then they kept offering to store it for me. I ain't wanting to store it because I was early bird.
So check with the cruise
yeah,
line.
check with them.
Oh, and I just wanted to just add a little bit of something. When she talked about getting off the ship and taking a scooter to go to Target, she's not talking about the scooter like scooter around.
Yeah, no.
She's talking about the kind where you stand up and hold on. It's kind of like one of those skateboards, you know, with
yes, exactly.
That's so if you're 80 years old, that may not be the scooter
no, don't
you
do that.
want to take to go to Target.
But she could do that scooter. Don't let her fool you. She could do it. Have you sailed on Celebrity? No. The only cruise lines I have been on are Royal, Carnival, Holland America, and Princess. All right, we have been doing this for 2 hours, so I'm gonna get off of here. I'm gonna look for 3 more questions, and then I'm gonna call it. If I missed it, sorry. Come ask me whatever your question is in any video. Don't attach it to another comment. Put a new comment with your question because YouTube notifies us if there is a new comment. It may or may not notify us of a reply. So let me see if I can get 3 more in here. As a single parent, I tend to travel with 2 young men. I like to take a solo cruise. Which cruise line would you suggest? Well, that depends on what a young man is. A young man who is 10 or 12 or a young man who's 32. I just got off of Grandeur of the Seas with my son who is 34. I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, I said it now. I'll edit it out. But he is in his 30s. And we had the best time on Royal Caribbean's Grandeur of the Seas. The last time I was on a cruise with my grandkids was Carnival Celebration. They had the best time ever. When I was raising my kids and we used to go on cruises, we went on Carnival and Royal. I ain't saying this is my favorite cruise line. But my kids preferred Royal because they had way more activities for the kids. They had the rock climbing walls. They had they didn't have the wave runners back then, but they had the ice skating, which they loved to do. They had all kinds of stuff, way more activities on the ships. Regardless of what cruise line we was on, Carnival or Royal, they did not want to hang with their parents. They was like, we want to go to the kids club, bye. My husband was all about family time, so he would always tell them we need to meet back before and all go to dinner together. So we always had dinner together. But yeah, it just depends on the age, and I think there's something for everybody. But just in general, I would say for families, depending on the age of the young men, out of Carnival and Royal. I don't know about the other cruises, Holland America, Princess. I haven't sailed them enough, but I would say in general, in that category at least, Royal.
Royal, I understand also, is the only cruise line that has an ice skating rink or ice skating floor, if you will. And they have fabulous shows if you've never gone to one. Mm-hmm. Fabulous shows on the ice skating floor, and they have Broadway production type playlists that they perform as well.
Mm-hmm. And then they do other things with the ice skating rinks, like on Star, they transformed it into a laser tag.
Oh yes.
I was like, how do you have laser tag?
That's right.
What?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then they have other things like the escape rooms, which a lot of younger adults, older men, depending on what age you're talking about, they like to do those escape rooms.
So it depends on the ship. So.
Yeah, and the age, yeah. Someone says, yes, Carnival does have pool tables. What is the best location on the ship to book a room? I've heard if you have balcony. Listen, as long as I'm on the doggone ship, That's my answer. As long as I'm on the ship. Now you worried about all this motion sickness and where you gonna feel the most, and if you like me, you got fat people problems and you just want to be close to the food. There's all the theories about if you got motion sickness, then you want to be, if you get motion sickness easily, then you want to be, I feel like this thing is about to move, towards the middle and bottom of the ship as you start to go up and out to the ends. Someone told me hold up a pencil, and if you I don't have a pencil with me, but if you do it like this, then you can tell the bottom is pretty much staying in the same spot. So if there's waves, the bottom is staying in the same spot, but everything towards the top is where you're seeing all the motion at. So yeah, but for me, I prefer when I look for cruises, I look for, again, me with my walking problem and also lazy people problems, I look for the highest floor close to the elevator, and if it's a Carnival or Royal ship and the dining room happens to be in the back, which most of them are, I try and get one close to the back elevator. But as far as just in general, without my issues, do you have any suggestions on that? A best place to book your cabin?
If you live in California, you'll be just fine. You'll think it's a little minor earthquake, okay? You'll be like, in California, you're like, was it an earthquake? And then you wait, you rocks a little, you think, oh yeah, it's fine.
All right, let's see. Spike, my glasses are right here in front of me. I cannot read with them on. I'm the opposite. Most people need glasses to read. Let me see if I can get one more question that I haven't already answered, and then we're gonna get off of here. Here's one from B from South Carolina. Oh, and here's another one from Sapphire. Okay, we're gonna get these two last ones. Sapphire is asking, I enjoyed Miss Lynn being there. Any plans for a joint broadcast with Miss Lynn? Lynn doesn't have a YouTube channel, so I don't know. If you're talking about Lynn Minks, who was on here earlier, she doesn't have a YouTube channel. And we did do a video together on, I want to say it was Carnival. It wasn't for the ship though. It was my video about how I booked 19 free cruises on Carnival. Was it that one? I don't remember. If you ask me in a separate comment outside of this, because I won't, it's going to take me a long time to go through all these again. But if you ask me in a separate comment and you want to see her talking, I can find that video and give you the link to it. But yeah, she's already in a video with me. If you're talking about Lynn Minks, if you're talking about somebody else, maybe you're talking about free. I'm not sure. We haven't discussed that if you're talking about free. So let's get this last question. Where did I see it at? I read an answer to can't swim and cruising. You don't cruise because you can't swim, but you take an airplane to fly and you can't fly. Oh, okay. So that wasn't really a question. That was a helpful tip. All right. So since that wasn't a question, let me see if I can answer. Okay, here's the question. I have a cruise coming up on Carnival. Question. I really want to know if you ever attended the 80s night. I have not figured out where the cruises get the fluorescent wands at 80s night. So I'm only dressed up. I've been to them before, but I'm only dressed up for one 80s night, and that was because my sister, one of my sisters, my baby sister, is all about that life, and she would dress up for everything. And so she got all this stuff for us when we were on Carnival Vista. So if you look at my Carnival Vista video, search Carnival Vista Poverty to Paradise, you'll see that. But yeah, we dressed up. As far as where she got them from, she got everything off Amazon that she told me. She said Amazon and the dollar store. So it was the leg warmers and the mini skirts and all that stuff. Other than that, I don't think I've ever dressed up for anything else. Maybe I've thrown on a white top and a white bottom to go to the all-white parties, but other than that. And how about you? I know you like that kind of stuff. Oh, she like that kind of stuff. I already know the answer to this.
I like all the theme stuff. I dress up for all of it. I get those wigs. You can go to Walmart, get you a colorful wig. I put that on Tina Turner, Patti LaBelle. The glow stuff, like she says, I get stuff from Amazon or Dollar Tree, or I might even have some stuff, okay? So you gotta check with your mom or grandma, if you are a mom or grandma, just go for it, You don't have to dress for all the different theme parties or any of them if you don't want to, but it's just a lot of fun and I enjoy it. So usually I'll dress and take a picture.
Cool. And she's fun. We've only met each other what 4 or 5 days. like I've known her for a while. I'm blessed to have her. But anyway, thank y'all so much for coming and for giving the thumbs up and for adding some more questions that I hadn't thought of. And again, I apologize if I missed your question because the phone was acting up or because we're running out of time. But my feet burning up out here, so.
And you guys, stay tuned. There's more to come. She is fabulous. She's awesome. What I really like about her is, like she said, she's not a gatekeeper. She's willing to share information. She has a good heart. She's a Christian, which also, of course, love. And she shows much love. So I really appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. All right, y'all. Have a good day. I hope to see you on the next cruise. Thanks for watching. Bye. There we go. There we go.
I was just coming out here to see